Day 3 sobriety, man. You proud of me?
You drinking a Ghost? That ain't sobriety. You can't be drinking Ghost out here, dude.
Sugar is a drug, dog.
There's no sugar in there.
It is,
Okay.
yes. It's 0 cal, huh?
It tastes like a popsicle.
I don't know what got into me, but I've been back on the weight loss grind. Like all of a sudden, for like the last 3 days, I've been eating clean and working out a lot.
That's hella weird. I've been doing the same thing, and I've been watching like hella videos on YouTube about like what I should eat and stuff. And
That's crazy. We just sitting here lying to ourselves. No. I feel like I'm telling the truth too. And the other day, I laid in bed talking to Chad about what is blood sugar. what is glucose? What asking like every question, just figuring it all out.
Yeah.
You want a weight loss journey?
I need to lose about 30. I'm 265. I'm when I'm 230, I have a six pack. So I'm on a journey.
You have a 6-pack at 230?
At 230, I'm shredded up.
You must be buff as hell, because at 230, I am fat.
Really? No.
I'm 241 right now, and this is like the fattest.
Oh no, I got bullshit going on right now.
Okay, you look like you have the lipo. No,
no, hell,
the ab no?
Hell no, lipo is wild, man. Hey, but I mean, we eat clean, but the air is dirty. There's pollution everywhere. So
there's calories in the air.
I mean, shit.
Damn.
Okay, we're for losing.
Wow. That's crazy. No, I don't know what it is. Or like, why? I guess like honestly, the thing that happens with me is that the fatter I get, the more depressed I am about the way I look, and then as I get more and more depressed, eventually I get closer and closer to the point where I'm like, okay, I got to get serious and lose weight. But like, if everything else in my life is going good, it's easy for me to avoid and ignore the fact that I hate how I look. So I don't know what it is, because it's like I hate to like I hate to acknowledge that any of the hosts leaving could possibly have any control over me. But maybe it like checked my ego a little bit to be like, all right, well, if you're gonna have your hosts, you know, carrying guns, attempting to shoot each other, leaving the podcast, etc., then maybe at least you could not be fat while they're doing it, because you're a bigger target when you're fat.
You are. I'm a big target.
Even a blind man could hit me where I'm at right now.
When shit changes, the way shit tastes stays the same. So we're just looking for familiarity.
Well, but you know what the thing is? My girl told me that when you are on Ozempic, the foods you love the most in the world will taste like sandpaper. Can you confirm that?
Yes, it does. And it's like you'll be forgetting to eat. You'll go like a whole day and a half and forget to eat. You know what though? You know what's crazy? You know why Jelly Roll didn't do the Ozempic?
Why?
Because he heard it can mess up your voice and your vocal cords. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I watched the NBA Finals stuff. Charles Barkley's voice has been like acting like it's blowing the out.
Really?
So yeah, you have to watch out for your voice.
Has he been getting smaller as well?
Yeah, he got mad smaller, but then like for like 4 games, he was just like, he was sounding like Doc Rivers.
Really?
His whole voice
sounding like the DOC.
for real.
That's crazy.
I'm scared of that shit, dog.
I've been flirting with doing the carnivore diet. You know what I ate for breakfast today?
What?
4 sausage egg McMuffins, but no muffin.
Oh yeah.
So what is it? Egg,
just egg and meat.
Egg, meat, cheese?
Yeah.
Wow.
Muffinless McMuffin. I do raw vegan. That's how you can lose 30 pounds in 30 days eating raw vegan.
I'm so anti-vegan.
If you had to pick one to lose weight, which would you rather do, the carnivore or go vegan?
I would do raw. You know, raw vegan and vegan is it's two different things.
Yeah, raw is worse.
Yeah,
like
raw
harder and like more unhealthy. But I've heard that the carnivore diet is not really that good for you in the long run either.
I think we're just messed up either way we go.
Eat normal.
Try to eat clean.
I have the Ozempic, not Ozempic, but like it's some other GLP-1 that my doctor prescribed me like 4 or 5 months ago, and I just have never really like taken it upon myself to actually do it. And part of the reason why is because my girl said that she lost a ton of muscle when she got on it, and she's like, I don't want you to lose a lot of muscle. I don't want you to be scrawny.
And a doctor selling you Ozempic seems predatory because you're not even that overweight.
Well, I kind of asked him. I was just like, yo, give me that.
How much do you weigh?
240. I actually weighed myself today. And that's another thing I do is that when I am fat, I won't weigh myself for like long periods of time. So I can just ignore it, act like it's not happening, you know?
What were you at when we started?
I don't know, honestly.
You weren't too much over 240, I don't believe.
I was surprised when I got on the scale today and saw 240 because I feel like when I fought Jason, I was like 230. So like 10 pounds is not that good. And I weighed myself today after eating and all this other shit. So it's like probably not accurate anyway.
The worst part about having some weight on you is when you look at yourself in the mirror from the back and you see like this little area right here. corner. Yeah, that's like, that'll get you in the gym. You know what I mean? Because that's what your bitch is looking at when you walk away from her. You're looking at these.
And the more weight you lose, the more that you get a little hourglass figure. Your hip, your love handles are sucked in.
Yeah.
And then you get fat and it becomes real love handle. It's like you look at it and you're like, oh, that's the joke that they make about the love. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
And then when you your girl, your ass is clapping too. That'll make you really want to lose weight. Like, hold on, I hear another ass in here. Right?
Sound like a round of applause in this motherfucker.
There's 2 asses in this room, bitch.
Yo, imagine if you could make your ass clap like, because I see mad BBL chicks do it.
Yeah.
Make it clap?
Oh yeah, they just bounce up and down and their ass goes pop, 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 pop. Is that gay? If you do that as a guy.
If you purposely clap your ass as a man, that's flirting.
But why? That's a party trick.
Yeah. Go do that shit on Santa Monica Boulevard, bro.
See what the response you
get is. That's a mating call.
Round of applause.
Hey. Yeah.
That's weird that some things are gay that aren't actually gay, but they're so female coded that you just consider them gay.
Adam is convinced that getting pegged isn't gay.
Getting pegged is homosexual.
It's not. If Cindy Crawford pegs you, that's not gay.
Is there balls on the dildo? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying, Adam?
That's a fair statement.
There's no such thing as halfway gay.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's not a bad point. Yeah. Okay, wearing makeup. Wearing makeup is gay.
It depends. If you're on a photo shoot.
Yeah, you're right.
I've worn makeup before.
Anybody who's done any kind of TV, they'll put a little makeup on you. And then you have the weird thing where you like catch yourself looking in the mirror like a couple hours later and you forget you got the makeup on. You're looking at yourself like, damn, I look good. And then you're like, oh, right. They dolled me up.
Foundation.
If a man puts the makeup on you,
then you
yeah. You can't have any contact.
So if a dude's painting your face, it's no. If it's a chick, it's cool.
A chick, it's all good. There's boundaries.
What if a dude pegs you but you hate it?
But you hate it.
This is crazy.
Nah, because all right, you want to know what I interviewed Daphne Joy yesterday.
You know what that is?
No.
Unbelievably hot female. She's Filipino, I believe, and she has a baby with 50 Cent. She was part of...
okay.
She dated Diddy for a long time. Right. Recently, a sex tape came out of a dude with like a 10-inch dick and Diddy with his little 3-inch dick. Right. And they're banging her together and shit. But like, she's so hot.
Right.
And I watched like, because this is like it was only her second interview. Her first interview was a couple of days before with Academics. And while I'm doing the interview, because like the whole Academics one, they're flirting so hard. Right. And then I'm interviewing her and she's not really flirting with me.
Right.
And that was kind of an awkward moment for me where I realized that Academics had more riz than me.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, I didn't know. Yeah.
She just likes weird black dudes. That's it. All of those black dudes you talked about are weirdos.
She's talking about like, oh, yeah, you've been losing weight. You're slimming down. You look good. And she didn't say anything like that to me.
Well, you ain't been slimming down.
You don't want to fuck her. Puffy fucked her. Yeah. You don't want to.
He wanted to be, I do want to be lied to.
I do. I really do.
Motherfucker wanted to be lied to.
She probably got some Biggie in her pussy and Puppy fucked her.
But okay, I was thinking about this the other day. Is that like you telling me like, oh, so and so fucked this girl before you, so you shouldn't want to fuck her, is like saying like, well, Hitler went to Austria.
Right. I get it.
I don't give a. I'm still gonna go to Austria. I don't care if he's been there. It was a long time ago. Who cares? They've cleaned the streets hundreds of times, thousands.
But Puffy though, I mean,
That's just I don't care. I'm too horny to think about shit like that, you know.
No, she's bad though. I mean, you know.
And Puffy wasn't working with much either, so she was that was just like getting finger banged and stuff. Like he was super small.
I ain't never seen Puffy's dick.
I did.
I was watching. I don't know what.
I seen it. It's
really.
And I'm a
pecker. It's not a dick.
That's a pecker. I respect that he called in reinforcements.
Yeah.
Why be a billionaire if you can't hire a guy with a much larger cock to come fuck your girl?
Why not just get a bigger cock? You can buy more dick meat. They have places. They have butchers. They have dick butchers you can go to.
But I feel like the biggest improvement you're gonna get from like a 3-incher is to maybe like 5.
That's enough.
That's almost double.
It's a lot better, but it's still
not really nothing to write home about.
Yeah. But women don't really need dick. They bitches. Bitches don't have dicks. They buy them. So just buy one.
But the thing with Diddy is like his fantasy, his turn on was that he wanted to see his girl get plowed by a huge cock. He just wasn't lucky enough to be born with one.
Right.
That's gotta suck to be a billionaire with a little dick.
Yeah, they need a dick I don't like an extension that you could put on the, you know, something.
Like for a gun.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like
extendo clip on.
Yeah, extendo. A 30-shot dick. Like, I mean, rather than hire a star and a prostitute for puffy, why not just get more dick?
Well, what you probably don't know, and I don't think most people know, is that a lot of guys are shooting up like silicone or something into your cock. So like some of these dudes, they'll get a boner and their dick won't really look that different, right? Because they've got all this goop that they shot into it to make it like bigger even when they're hard. So that way you don't have to be like 100% hard to be able to bang the chick on camera.
Oh,
really?
This is going to drive me nuts. This mic, what is going on with this? You guys give him that. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Stuck like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, man.
All these dick manipulation things. Damn, why can't we just live in the world?
But nobody talks about all this extra shit Puffy had to do to Cassie. Maybe Cassie had trash pussy.
Yeah.
Maybe her pussy makes dildos get soft.
Nobody talks about that. Yeah.
It's always the guy's fault.
Yeah. No, because, okay, there's a Taylor Swift song that my wife loves it so much that for her birthday, I shot a music video to this song. And it's basically a diss song about one of her ex-boyfriends, and it's called The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. And you could easily listen to the song and not realize it, but what she's basically saying is that this guy had a micro penis, right?
Right.
And I was like horribly offended when she first explained to me that that's the meaning of the song, because I'm like, how would it come off if Drake put out a song where the chorus was basically like, hey, your pussy's way too big. I can't get any pleasure out of your huge loose pussy.
Mansion pussy.
Yeah. Feels like outside.
Yeah, right.
But I feel like that's kind of like one of the final frontiers of discrimination, is that you could still make fun of a guy with a tiny cock.
Yeah. Well, one day I always say that there's going to be a war. And mark my words, between gay people and bisexual people. One day, gay people are going to get tired of bisexual people eating up all the pussy and sucking up all the dick. And they're going to make them pick a side.
Yeah.
It's going to happen one day.
I can see that happening.
That's a good point. You can't be a blood in a crib.
Yeah, I mean, you got to choose.
You got to pick a side.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. Can't be straddling the fence.
No, yeah, totally. Yeah.
I think it just sucks with the dick thing, too, because you can't even control your dick size. Like, act like that's something that you can control. It's genetics.
Well, look, there's more dick in you. You just got to figure out how to get it out.
Girls have more control over the size of their own vagina than guys have over the size of their penis.
What, for the Kegel activities?
No, I'm saying you have a bunch of kids, you get by Lexington Steel, all of a sudden your pussy's a little bigger. And like for a guy, there's just almost nothing you could do short of like getting a dick pump, which I've heard that only adds like a half inch and you need to use it all the time.
You know what I dealt with? I smashed a chick who lost a bunch of weight, but her pussy was still really big.
Right.
It's like the pussy didn't come down.
But why do we assume that a fat woman is going to have a looser pussy, even though I'm 100% on board with that, and I believe that to be the case?
Probably just because they're bigger, and you would just assume.
But like really, you could take a woman with a tight pussy,
right?
Stick her in a closet and feed her 8,000 calories a day.
Right.
Like she's going to come out of there way fatter, probably with some kind of infection. But why would her vagina be bigger? It doesn't really make sense.
It might be better though. Damaged women have really extraordinary pussy. So if you torture, if she lives in the closet, you humiliate her. When you go to her, she's going to enjoy it, because inside of every woman is a need to be destroyed.
That's a good point.
And then built back up.
But the fact that she will be psychotic from being trapped in the closet, which by the way, we do not have any plans to actually do this. No. Purely for the form of comedy. But I don't see why I would make her vagina bigger by definition.
Right. I just think you would just assume if she big, everything is big. That's just at least what I would think would be the assumption.
Or you would think that a woman who had sex with like 1,000 dudes would have a bigger vagina, but really like just banging like the same guy over and over and over with a really big cock is, I mean,
probably blow it out even more.
Yeah. If anything, it makes the pussy more resilient. Yeah.
And that's really what I'm in it for. Durability.
Resilient pussy. Yeah, that's always.
Just want to talk. It's just something built to last.
For a tough pussy.
So Kraig, you had some commentary that you were basically upset about some of the No Jumper hosts picking on Doughboy, most notably when he got his boob jiggled.
I wasn't feeling the sexual assault part. Look,
that was a step too far.
And look, man, I'm a comedian, so I don't take anything personal, but the art of comedy is very important to me. So when I see people doing something that they think is strategic about the art form, and it's not, it's actually really absent-minded. It just, that made me upset. But I have no personal issue with nobody. I don't want to go to the fade, the parking lot, catch no fades, or no shit like that.
Pull out the whoop-de-whoop.
Yeah. But I love comedy, bro, and I love hip-hop too. You know what I'm saying? And these are two things that I've been involved with since I was a child. So I understand the differences, the nuanced differences between just people cracking jokes in a group of friends and then the art of comedy. And to me, that wasn't represented in that conversation. First of all, the one thing we don't do in comedy is group think, common thought. What everybody thinks is funny is not funny.
Okay.
Just because a room full of niggas is saying, you're corny, you're funny, that don't mean that the shit ain't funny. You know what I'm saying? That's some other playground bully shit.
But as a comic, you're at the will of the people. Like if you are doing stand-up and the whole room thinks that you're unfunny or that a joke that you just did sucked. I mean, that kind of becomes the reality, right? Even if you adamantly disagree, even if the 10 assassins in back all think that you're hilarious, if the crowd thinks you suck, the crowd thinks you suck, and for all intents and purposes, you suck in that moment.
Indeed,
right?
and that's all good. So that's the truth of the moment. So I'm not denying that, but what I'm saying is like, so in a room full of comedians, if that was a room full of comedians, that would have been a whole different vibe, right? Because look, first of all, in comedy, you have 8 different characters of comedy. So you can look that up and read it to him.
Okay.
So his character in comedy in that situation is called the lovable loser.
Him?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you watch sitcoms, he would be Joey on Friends. This is the guy that everybody thinks is stupid, a little corny, a little out of pocket, a little out of sorts, and they root for him to win because they know he's a fish out of water.
Wow, okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? This is an actual character archetype in the art of comedy.
But if it requires that much context, is it actually funny?
The context is there. Here's the problem. The context is there. You're just used to receiving comedy with it already dictated to you. So when you're in the art of comedy and someone is that character archetype, it's a skill to be able to play on that and take it further. But when you stomp on it and don't understand what you're receiving, his gift as a comedian, you're not going to further it. You're just trying to stomp him so he matches all the cool shit happening in the room. And there's no cool in comedy.
Oh, this is cool. I'm the first one. The logical, smart one. The anchor, straight man, or voice of reason. They react to the chaotic situations around them with common sense. Thank you very much. This has been a great podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe. Wait, this is so sick because I've thought about this a lot. The fact that like there are so many, that there seem to be like archetypes on this podcast that emerge over time that kind of repeat themselves. A lot of people have made note of the fact that like Doughboy's current arc is kind of similar to Lush a couple years ago or whatever. But okay, let's keep going through this. The lovable loser.
That's me.
Childish, optimistic, gullible, and impulsive. Despite their constant failures and susceptibility to mistakes, they remain highly sympathetic.
All right.
Yeah, you thought I was just a loser.
Now I understand.
Get it?
Okay.
It was a whole plan behind this.
Okay, I kind of, I feel seen.
Yeah. So I wasn't tripping. I just was like, oh, they don't understand what's happening.
Right.
So look, I'm a rapper first, right? I got 10 albums, right? I became a comic in 2008. So I got as much time in music as you do, and I got 20 years in comedy. So I'm one of the rare people that understand the nuanced differences. And in comedy, there is no cool. There is no wear Jordans, get nice tattoos, get the bad bitches. Comedy is not about that at all. Comedy is about vulnerability and having the heart to be yourself despite what the is going on in the room. Wow. You get what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
So that's what comedy is.
He's spitting.
No, he's definitely
Lars.
So that's the problem I had with when you said that a lion that's lost his roar. That was like, that's the only thing I wasn't with. I'm like, nah, you don't have the right to dictate to the crowd because you have more status in this situation. So people are going to run behind you because they think that Adam has more influence over you. So whatever you say, the room is going to roll with. But me, I don't give a about what Adam has to say or nobody. Not in a disrespectful way.
But also many of the people at home truly don't really care what either of us have to say. I think
these other niggas are trying to stay here and be on be hosts.
But that was the thing that I think made that shit hit so hard, is that even though Kyle's jokes were not really like objectively funny, like by just saying you look like Pinky, I want to wife you, like these are not things that would really pass muster around a bunch of comics. But the fact that he was such a low status podcaster who came into the room on a mission,
on timing,
and then Doughboy was like seemingly unprepared to like deal with this like relatively amateur amateurish roast.
Yeah.
I don't know. That to me was
His
pretty.
timing was
But that's
on point.
the lovable loser, though.
But it was flustering in the moment because I just didn't understand. Like I didn't know him. I didn't know what he was talking about. Like and he was mixing it with disrespect. At least, you know what I'm saying? Calling me the B word, saying I'm gonna slap you. All that. And so I'm just like, am I gonna have to fight this? And so I'm not thinking
That got
funny right now.
with the whole slapping thing.
Right.
But I do want to throw out a theory. I feel like a lot of your initial like anger towards me was dictated by the prior interaction that we had when you called in to the roast.
No. Here's the thing, man. I murder on stage, so if somebody's saying I'm not funny, I know they're not a comedian. So when you roasting, you just shoot the roast. If it's funny, we laugh, but you don't tell them like you want to roast with me today. We could roast and have
You're
fun.
funny though. That's the thing. I didn't think that qualified.
Yeah. No, but that's not. Yeah. Look, every comedian from the worst to the best has bombed.
Yeah.
Every single. If you don't bomb every once in a while, you're not really a good comedian because you have to test shit to see if it works. You get what I'm saying? So this art form is not about cool. There's no cool. Maybe I wasn't funny. I didn't read the audience right.
Well,
So,
it's beyond that. I feel like you were kind of. It's like when you said you were a rapper for several years, so I know you've done some bunk shows, right?
All day long.
And it's not your fault. You might have a great set, but the sound system is ass, the promoter didn't do their thing, whatever. So it winds up reflecting on you ultimately.
Right.
I feel like at that moment, Doughboy kind of set you up to kind of fail inadvertently. He didn't do it
But I don't view that as a bomb. I understood that.
It wasn't a bomb.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
If I was Doughboy in that situation when all that shit would have happened, I would have just got quiet and said, "Oh, it's all good. I know what this is," and came back another day. I'm not gonna try to fight Mike Tyson as an amateur. I got to learn to box. I got to be humble and figure out what the is going on. Okay, Lush. Okay, this is his moment. I ain't tripping. You got me, dog. It ain't no emotions or no like. It's nothing personal. But in that, the mistake that Doe made is he should have just bowed out at that moment and let it be what it was. Now I haven't been here for other stuff. I know my nigga's a wild nigga. I know he's a wild nigga. I know him. I heard Adam say some shit. I'm like, yeah, that's dope. But Doughboy is also one of the best writers in the game. Doughboy is also resilient. He's also very vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? So whatever his issues are, he's not scared to tell you what the is wrong with him. You know what I'm saying?
This is true.
Yeah. So it's like those are the type of things that we appreciate in the comedy community that I felt like could be possible here, but just because you guys ain't used to that, it just got looked on as being like some bitch shit. You know
Can you give us an example of something that Doughboy has wrote that you found really impressive?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I had a series.
Oh, he's digging in the crates.
No. I had a series.
They don't even know, man.
So I had a series on the quarantine based on a joke, and the series was called, what was it called again?
Virtual Marriage.
Virtual Marriage is about this couple who's never met in person, but they have 4 kids together. Okay. And every time they want to, she lives in New York, he lives in LA, and every time they want to have a baby, he goes and donates sperm, and they FedEx the sperm to her. She gets impregnated, and they have a baby.
It's a fire dystopian concept for sure.
Yeah,
and we shot it.
So he raises the kids on the phone, like everything that's done on phone and FaceTime. So he wrote that whole 7-episode series in like 2 weeks.
And we shot that shit.
Yeah, we did a premiere for it. A bunch of people came. You know what I'm saying?
Talented guy.
Yeah, he's a talented. He's a producer and a writer. You know what I'm saying? And he can do stand up as well. But you know, everybody has different gifts. Like in hooping, like Dominique Wilkins or Vince Carter, they dunk.
Right.
That's their skill. So you know. Chris Paul, what's the other guy? They handle the rock. That's their skill. So his skill set in comedy, well, he does everything, but writing is like his gift. That's what he's 7 feet tall at. Right. Where you can give him a movie script and 2 weeks and he'll bang out a movie script for you.
You said Chris Paul, I thought you were about to say his gift is stabbing.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah.
Because he told us that he's been working on a movie called Everything 420. It's a horror movie about No Jumper.
It's a horror movie.
We've been waiting.
We were so skeptical about it that I feel like it kind of took the wind out of his sails and he stopped working on this movie.
No. I actually have the beat sheet in here right now, and I actually was working on it over the weekend. No, I mean, you guys can stomp the spirit out of a weak nigga
every day.
Out of a weak nigga, but I'm not weak. So, you know, I've come to even, you know, understand and appreciate everybody's personality, because Adam will sit here and dissect me to the core live on air.
Right.
But like, I take it just because I know it's in the vein of me getting better. I know he's not just being a dickhead and just trying to make me look stupid.
That's not unique to you, by the way.
Exactly right. He's just like a tough coach. Like,
but one thing about me is that I'm much better at dissecting and criticizing than I am at actually creating. which is unfortunate. But that's that's kind of where I've found myself, where it's like, and I think about it, I've spent my whole life being obsessed with musicians and music and learning about them and criticizing music and talking about music I like, etc. But meanwhile, never even thought about making music at all ever, aside from obviously the many the great rap songs that we put together, which I would not say are like really that indicative of like musicality in many ways, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You was getting off, but to be fair, I think that what you described is way more producerial minded, right? Like it's so you are involved in the creative process and have input on it, but you're not the actual creator.
And that's why when people try to like give you that like cheerful, positive advice where they're like, listen, it's not the critic who's at the top of the mountain or who has their hand raised in the middle of the boxing ring, and then I'm like, no, you gotta understand, I'm that guy. Like I'm the guy who's not getting his hand raised in the boxing ring, but like we'll do a really good like description of why somebody lost or why somebody sucks or why somebody's good, whatever. But like, I'm more of a critic than I am like a creator in a lot of ways, which like I understand we're creating podcasts, but like largely what we're doing is like commentating on and criticizing other things that other people have going on. So I can't logically sit here and look down upon somebody who's a critic. And really, like, a lot of my favorite content creators are critics who either make videos or just write and like, basically tear shit apart.
Hell yeah. But also too, man, in your position, because I've been in your position, when you got to deal with so many personalities and shit, you get decision making fatigue. That's a real medical diagnosis where you deal with so many different and have to make so many decisions that at some point it's hard to even make one. You know what I mean? So I get that, you know what I mean? So that's the part that, some of don't even consider. They just know what the they want from you or from somebody, but they don't understand that it's 30 other people just like you saying the same shit. You know what I mean? And then when you leave, one of those 30 comes and says something negative about one of the other people. Oh, you can't trust that guy. So it's all these politics and shit I know you have to deal with because I've had a podcast network that is not as successful. But at some point, dog, I know you just sometimes want to be like, man, all these niggas.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it's like, is it really worth dealing with all this bullshit to just make some content? Like maybe it would be better if I just did shit by myself and got like significantly less views, but didn't have to worry about anyone. Maybe I'm that kind of person. I've spent a lot of time thinking about that, but really at the end of the day, I feel like I would so much rather sit there and have a conversation with someone else, at least one other person, rather than have to like the whole thing of like sitting behind the computer streaming by yourself. Like I've done it. I feel like I could get a lot better at it, but ultimately it's just not really like my thing. Like I want to say what I got to say and then toss it to the other person and go back and forth.
I would literally starve to death too if you did that. So.
That benefits you.
What's the weirdest shit? Because like I could tell some stories, right? What's the weirdest like scenario or personality you've dealt with since you've been doing this shit?
Oh my God, I can't even. He's upper echelon for sure.
He's up there.
I mean, think about like let's just psychoanalyze Sharp for a moment. Like a convicted sex trafficker whose whole personality is based on the idea that he's great with women, but like every woman I've ever met who had anything to do with him hated him and was disgusted by him and wanted nothing to do with him, and you can't even have a conversation with him because he's just going to overpower you by basically like passing the buck to like a million other people. Every time I ever tried to talk to him about how to get better as a content creator, it was basically like, well, Laura did this. And I'm like, you can't, but meanwhile would like be talking so much that like you couldn't even get through to him to explain to him that he can't just get away with like blaming everything on other people. It's like when I think about the fact that I spent like years trying to make content with this person, that's insane.
You gave him like a lot of leeway, to be honest. So I don't think that a lot of other people that have worked here, like you would have been as,
because he was doing so good at first. But that's the weird thing about No Jumper as opposed to other podcasts. Like I remember when Joe Budden was basically putting together that show that was kind of short-lived called State of the Culture, and I show up and it was like me, I think Chuck English from the Cool Kids might have been there if I'm not forgetting, and then like a couple other people, and they put us on a panel and basically they give us topics and we have to discuss these topics, and we're not on camera, but Joe Budden's just sitting there like watching us and just observing what he thinks of us as podcasters. I've never done that every single thing that we've ever done on this podcast has basically like been for the fans to see. So we just try people out in real time. And so the fans, it's like, you know, it's a quantity over quality approach because
the scouting report, Joe Budden had his whole like, you feel me?
Like, yeah, but I mean, that is a very like logical and reasonable way to go through it. It's like, hey, take 20 minutes, put all these people on a podcast, sit there, observe them, come up with your thoughts and observations about who's good and who's not. And then that will aid you in putting together the panel. Eventually, I don't know. We don't do that. I would way rather just put a bunch of random people together, do the content. If it sucks, let the community talk about that. If it's good, maybe one of the people's good, one of the people suck. You kind of like bring them in from there or whatever. Like I've always kind of allowed the audience to just be part of it and to like basically evaluate talent as I am. But the problem with that sometimes is that it's so easy for people to just basically like get into the position, and then it's awkward to remove them from that position because you just tried them out on like an established show, and
because they have nothing else going on.
Well, yeah, and it's really difficult to distinguish like the love from this fan base, or if they're just like laughing at you. It's a very thin line. Like, are they rocking with you, or are they just rocking with you so they can see you destroy yourself?
I was just getting talked bad about for everything. I just come in here and take a sip of water. Look, this guy was he thinking thirsty? So now it's
but now you've been around long enough that it seems like there is more empathy coming from the audience, because even when they don't feel like you're doing great, they still feel like they know you. But that initial period of your first couple pods where they don't know you, it's like so unbelievably hard to break through that. You know?
It was like when I seen him do the competition, I hate competitions. Even though No Jumper's a great brand, I'm like, I could never do a competition because you got to get outside your body. See, to impress him.
But he killed it.
I thrive in competition.
But I don't give a what you think. He thinks it's not even. It's just about the moment and what the we doing. You know?
And that's the problem with doing those host competitions, is that even though they have been kind of fruitful for us, it's also someone who's established, which granted he's like pretty established to have been doing that, is usually like not going to really want to put themselves in a position where they have to like compete against a bunch of other people who realistically don't have shit going on.
You got niggas slapping your titty that's not on your level.
Yeah, no.
Well, that happened a few months in.
Yeah.
But the craziest thing I ever seen Doughboy do, he took his shirt off and he did a cartwheel and he got titty in his mouth. That was...
He motorboat himself?
No. He just did a cartwheel.
Have you ever ran with your shirt off?
I have.
Because like I remember in high school that there was a girl, I don't know if this was like folklore or not, but like the word was when I was like 13, and this girl had like way bigger boobs than any other girl my age. But the word was that before she got a bra, she was running on the track and one of her boobs went up and gave her a black eye.
That's beautiful. Yeah,
and I don't know if that is a real thing or not, but it was repeated so many times around the school that it might as well have been true.
Nah, when you fat like that, when you fat like that and you run, the shit hurts because it's like it's like going up and down. So it's not. That's why fat people don't run, because that's
the tissue.
Yeah, you can hurt yourself.
I got a question for you, because I've watched your shit for years. Right? What was the moment you decided to go from like the BMX shit, the biking shit, to this? Like, what made you do that?
So around like 2014, 2015, I was starting to sense that running a BMX blog was really just not going to be the thing going forward, because I knew that like blogs were becoming way less important. Whereas like when I had started it in 2006, it was like everything. Like even in hip hop, blogs were everything for like a significant period of time. And then also BMX itself was like declining in popularity. You know, I would be checking the search results for BMX on Google Trends and shit like that, and realizing like, oh, this shit is like waning in popularity significantly. And then meanwhile, at the same time, coincidentally, I'm in downtown LA and I'm going to these underground rap shows, and I'm just loving the energy, and it's like completely different than the rap that the culture surrounding rap that I grew up around. You know, a lot of times you go to these shows and the audience is like way more white kids. Everybody's, you know, weird hipster type dudes and shit like that, but like they're so passionate about this music. And so that's kind of how I managed to slip into it, which when I think about it, like when I started the BMX website in 2006, I should have started a hip hop blog at the same time, because I had plenty of shit to say about it. But I felt at that time that like, you don't really get to talk about hip hop unless you've got some stripes, you know, like you have to have like earned that position, which sounds insane now, because now you just start a YouTube channel. Like what the fuck? All of our favorite rap YouTubers did not have any kind of credentials going into it.
Right.
They just had shit to say.
Right.
And so I wish that I had gotten on it earlier, but yeah, that was kind of how I transitioned over. And then like within the first year of doing interviews, I interview XXXTentacion. It's like one of the biggest interviews of all time. And so that just kind of launched me onto this trajectory where all of a sudden like riding bikes, which I had already kind of grew disillusioned with, just didn't really feel like the thing to me anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dope. That pivot is dope because every artist that's relevant has had to pivot so many. I know I pivoted at least 5 or 6 times. So that's always uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Because you got to look at you like, what the am I doing wrong? How do I?
Yeah. There's just so much to learn too. Because in the BMX world, it was like simple. I knew everything. I knew every person. I knew every pro. And then all of a sudden I'm in the music business and people are talking to me about like, you know, publishing. And I'm like, I gotta like go home and look up publishing. Gotta like try to figure out what the that is.
Got to make the digital pivot.
Yeah. Real talk. Wait, so okay, let's get a little bit of the Kraig backstory and lore. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing and everything. I want to get the gist, because I kept trying to find like, I found a lot of podcasts that you were on, but most of them were like you just talk about random shit. I wasn't even talking about your lore.
Oh, indeed. It's all good. So, yeah, man, I'm from Pasadena, California. Oh, nice. Not too far from here. Yeah, all day long. You know, shout out to Dina Love. But, yeah, so me, man, I started off as just a rapper. And I graduated high school in 2000. I'm an old dude. I'm 44 and shit. So I was just trying to rap for years, a failed rapper and shit. Just putting out music and shit, going all the underground shit, trying to get my shit on Dub CNN radio.
Come on.
doing all the
blogger.
And you were Kraig Smith as a rapper, or you had a rap?
No, so I've been a couple different things as a rapper. At first I was Format, right? When I was on my underground hip hop shit.
Okay.
And then I changed it to Chill Withers. You know what I mean? So Chill Withers is what it is now. That's probably what it will remain. And the reason,
so you're still open to rapping?
Yeah, I put out albums all the time.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah,
whenever I put on Spotify.
Whenever I put out a stand up, I do stand up and rap simultaneously. So if I do an album, I write a stand up special to match the album.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So Chill Withers, and because I'm a big fan of Bill Withers. He was like he was a lyricist, like a conscious singer. Yeah. And we have a lot of parallels and shit. Like
Ain't No Sunshine.
Use Me.
All that dope shit, right? But he also was a guy that refused to quit his job. So he was a multi-platinum artist, and he was still working at Boeing as an airplane mechanic because he was scared to put his financial future in the hands of somebody else.
Okay.
So they had to convince him, beg him to quit his job. And my parallel is similar. You know, I own trucks and shit. I worked in transportation for years, and I always kept a gig because I'm scared of entertainment being like just the only way I get bread, because it's so up and down. So I related to that parallel, and I started calling myself Chill Withers.
When did you like decide? Oh, so you always kind of just kept regular jobs or business type shit going on?
I always keep a few hustles. I mean, I was, I was raised in the crack era, the gangbang era, so I grew up around people selling crack and dope and shit like that. And I tried that shit when I was really young, and that wasn't for me. But what I did take away from that is you always got to have multiple hustles. So I'm always somebody that has a few things going on. I'm never just on one thing.
Was it Dina hella different back then?
Yeah, it's changed because, Dina, where I'm from, the biggest blood gang in LA County, PDL, I don't gangbang, but my entire family is that. We had injunctions and shit. Rico Acts put on,
Is that what Big Hit's from?
Yeah.
So Big Hit, I know, his family and my family.
What made you able to avoid the gang shit? This has got to be pretty tempting, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was a hooper. I played basketball as a kid. I was a blessed athlete, you know what I mean? And I never was a follower. And my dad, shout out to my pop Smitty, he's a gangster, but he's above that Crip and Blood era. He's like a late 60s, early 70s gangster. So all the dudes where I'm from respected him. Okay. And then with me having cousins and shit from there, I never really felt the peer pressure. You know what I mean? So I just always did my own thing. I always been like a rogue guy.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
That's what's up.
And I think gangbanging is corny, I'm going to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. What
about it?
Well, there's so many different layers, right? Yeah. Not the niggas that gangbang, but the whole lifestyle is not what it was. At first it was family and culture. Now it's just a bunch of mentally ill niggas trying to prove who's sicker.
Because I've been thinking a lot about that because my daughter is 5.5 and she, you know, she's talked to Crip Mac on FaceTime. She's talked to Brick Baby. She knows who Whack is and all this shit. Yeah. And she knows that they have phony nicknames and shit like that. She knows that Crip Mac has a big 5 on his face, but she doesn't obviously know like what a gang is. And I've thought about like how at some point I'm going to have to explain that to her. And there's so many different ways that you could go with it because you could give her the kind of nice, clean version and be like, oh, they're just all from different neighborhoods. So like a different neighborhood has like a different name. Yeah. And that's just all the dudes from over there. That's what they call themselves. And then just not mention that like, well, so they also shoot the other guys over there.
They kill. Murder involved.
They're murderers.
Yeah. PG version, right?
I don't know. But like, am I doing her a disservice by giving her the cleaned up version right there? Like, because obviously like most parents would just warn their kid like this is terrible, like stay away from it, but I can't really like say that because I gotta explain why I'm hanging out with these dudes.
Co-workers.
I mean, the cold part is if you don't show them, even if she's not FaceTiming with Crip Mac, she's gonna see Blueface on the internet regardless at a certain point, and then the conversation is gonna need to occur. So
they say Kraig is from Pasadena, Denver lanes. Don't let him lie to you.
Let me ask you this, Adam. With all the things that have happened over the last couple of months, and really like over the last couple of years with all the gang stuff here, are you at all starting to get gang banging fatigue? Like it's just being like, this is just a lot. Is it getting to that space for you?
I will say that like I'm getting, well, I think I was this before, like in terms of just cautious about like who I put in the same room. But after recent events in particular, I'm really feeling that fatigue of like, God damn, I really like can't just put together because like
we have some real killers up here, dog.
I know.
He called me late night like, no, I need you to understand.
Some of these niggas up here are really, I ain't gonna say no names, I understand the politics.
And your man's just coming over here calling out names.
It's like having Carl Winslow come up here, dog.
Well, we just had 2 of the killers leave. But more importantly though, like, okay, Anne Hefe gets a murder charge. Yeah. We replace him with a guy who just did 10 years for murder.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, as much as we might like kind of think that there's some value in like kind of getting away from the killers, it's like it just seems like we can't escape it.
And that don't mean you're not a good person. That like I don't want to take that. Yeah. Because
that's the killers.
That's hilarious. I'm not putting no indictment on gang members because I understand the culture, and at some point in your life, right, if you grow up in certain environments, you literally have to do that to survive.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. So that like I got love for all gang members, but you know, with COINTELPRO and all this FBI intelligence, there's no way you can be a street nigga and not expect to go to jail or have to murder somebody, you know, or not be told on. So why would I do that? Why would I choose something where I know there's no win in the end? Yeah. Why would I continue to do that as a grown ass man?
Oh, totally, yeah, and that's why it's actually kind of like nice of the gang community that they have a pretty hard and fast rule, which is basically like you can't join a gang when you're older, or you can, but you will be ridiculed for it. They expect it. They expect you to make the decision about what hood you're going to come from when you're a teenager, and if you do it when you're even like in your mid-20s, when your frontal lobe is fully developed, they're going to hate on you for it, which is kind of telling that this is a decision that needs to be made when you're in your infancy as a man.
Right. The only way I join a gang is if they have a nurse and life insurance. You know what I mean? Then I'm covered. If I get hurt or if I die, my family is good. You know what I mean? But
I don't know. I think that's kind of crazy too. Like, you know how you say that, like, you know, you get ridiculed if you make the decision as an adult. Sorry. If you get ridiculed if you make the decision as an adult that somebody can make that, but it's almost like you're championed if you make it as a child. That almost comes off as a little predatory to me. Like I want to talk to an impressionable child, and you'll get stripes, and I'll appreciate you more if you make this decision as a child. But if you do it as a grown man and somebody knows how to make a decision, we ain't messing with you. Use a weenie. Like that's just kind of crazy to me.
Even the fade thing. As I get older, I love fighting and shit. But as I get older, like just because you challenge me to a fade, don't mean I gotta fight you broke. Nigga, what the do I want to fight a broke nigga for, man? Why would I fight anybody that's doing worse in life than me? It don't make no sense for you to challenge me to a fade, nigga. Do your taxes, get your own apartment, You know what I mean? Do something solid, and then I'll think about fighting you. But for me to step off what I'm trying to accomplish and fight you is just weirdo shit. Man.
Yeah, because at a certain point, even if you accomplish a lot with your life, if you are summoned for a DP, the whole idea is that you're going to get the shit beat out of you by some dudes that realistically probably have almost nothing going on.
Nothing going on. Yeah.
The millionaire from the hood is not the one beating the out of you know?
Yeah, it's some wild shit, man. Hopefully it changes, man.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, call it what you want, but there's no denying, like Doughboy pointed out, the predatory aspect.
It is.
Like we've never seen gang members roll up to high schools looking for like the next like generation of like they literally been middle school.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah,
Middle school.
So, okay, I want to discuss this clip that has kind of been going viral and not in our world at all, but basically like, okay, so this is an interview clip that I did with a rapper named Dream Life Rizzy from the Bay. And the caption is, one of the most prolific criminals in all of San Francisco tells Adam 22 that crime in San Francisco is over with because of flock cameras and drones. He complains that he can't even do drive-bys anymore.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's simple. When the risk of getting caught is too high, crime plummets. So let's just watch the clip real quick.
That shit over with, brother.
Oh, my mama, nigga, they got drones and hell,
I'm gonna keep it.
and
They're
fucking,
called.
yeah.
Look, soon as you slide past that motherfucker with some stolen plates, they're gonna issue a warning to every SFPD station in that area, if not the entire city, right? Oh. And they're gonna start dispatching to that area. And when they catch you, they're gonna catch you. And then they're gonna put the drone on you. They're not gonna follow you with no PD car from hella far. They don't gotta do that. No unmarked vehicles. They're gonna set a drone on you. Listen, they're gonna set a drone on you. That's about a few thousand feet up, and it's just gonna trail you the whole time. And then when you hit a corner or something, they're gonna box your ass in. Like,
so you're saying that like with all that license plate technology, that the classic move of like stealing a car and then spinning on your ops and then ditching the car, that just is not what it used to be.
Nah, you can't do that shit no more.
Really?
Nah, yeah.
So basically this is being like weaponized, if you will, by the tech billionaire community. Because this guy, Paul Graham, he has 3 million followers. I forget his exact resume, but I'm pretty sure he's like a VC or whatever. He's like a huge deal in the Silicon Valley tech world. And he quotes it and says, wow, this is the way you want criminals to be talking about your anti-crime tech. And basically, like, this is such a random clip from at least over a year ago. And it's pretty hilarious to see the tech community coming forward to say, hey, all of this mass surveillance technology that a lot of people think is bad, look at how this criminal is saying that basically doing a drive-by is now defunct because of this technology. Like, it's a total billboard for the products and the services that they are offering.
That this guy has no vested interest in the success of, right?
I don't know that, but that would be pretty fucking
Come on.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
This is the way you want them to
The fact that he complained that he can't do a drive-by anymore is hilarious. I can't shoot out of a moving vehicle.
Which, by the way, he didn't do.
Thought this was America.
Even like the whole time he was just talking about riding around in stolen whips.
Yeah. Right.
And then Adam asked him about, so you can't even like jump in a stolo and do a skid anymore? And he's like, nah.
Oh my God, look at this. Yes, Paul Graham is an investor in Flock Safety, the manufacturer of the automated license plate readers and AI-powered surveillance cameras used by law enforcement and communities. I mean, hey, you can't hate on him for bigging up his investment, but that's pretty hilarious that he co-owns this.
Yeah, exactly. Flock safety.
He stole the slang.
Yes, right?
That is so fire.
Oh my God.
I need a Flock safety shirt.
Flock safety, that's all his merch.
And the fact that the person who posted this called him one of the most prolific criminals in all of San Francisco. I don't know if Dream Life Rizzy has necessarily risen to that
prolific.
level. I mean,
well, yeah, that's ambitious in a city that was literally based on criminality, built on the gold rush. Like
all day long, still
making a lot of presumptions.
Chinese slavery.
Yeah. They got a pretty dark
But
history.
niggas will figure out a way, Adam.
Yeah.
Niggas that have robots committing crimes, that have robot gangs, we're going to figure out a way to hustle. Nothing's going to stop us.
I've never had a clip of mine of a rapper talking about crime be used in such a way. Like, I'm really kind of flabbergasted by the fact that this is, he was one of the original investors in Y Combinator. Like, that dude is a big deal. Him using this clip to basically say that his product is awesome is so funny to me. Wow. I don't know.
You got to do a deal with him, man.
Yeah, I got to tap in with him. I got way more criminals that I can point your way.
No, but he seems like he's in the Elon Musk like archetype of just straight Batman villain.
Yeah.
He's not like a regular
I mean, is he evil? I don't know.
It seems like there's some nefarious activities going on.
He's justifying mass surveillance in favor of like people being safer, which I don't really think that's like inherently evil.
No,
that's how they do it though. That's how propaganda works. It's always a catastrophic event to make you change how you.
But that's the reality, is that mass surveillance will make us safer, like it or not. It's just like I don't know how you could deny that, right? Okay, because I was suggesting this to my girl the other day. Is like, if there's cameras everywhere, and let's say like 10 years from now there's way more cameras, is it like immoral or unethical for those cameras to be able to just basically like identify bad behavior as a driver, and then you just get tickets in the mail or you get your license taken away? Because like we're all used to the idea that like if you're breaking the law, you have to get caught, or otherwise, like, you know, you have basically like you can break the law, you just have to be smart about getting away with it. Is there a future? I think there probably is a future in which like every bad thing that you do will be assessed, like at least in public, outside of your home.
Yeah, that's great.
It sucks for people from our world where it's like, I can do coke right on the side of the street. I just have to like make sure there's no cops looking, you know? And like we've always gotten by on that, right?
I think it could be a double-edged sword though, because even though it might stop a lot of the crime and stuff, then it also makes us give up a lot of our privacy. And you know, this government, like, you know how they can be, like they can try to invade on your privacy for as much as they want for their own personal gain. So it might not just be a crime stopping thing. It could be you're losing your privacy. They know a lot about you and they can you in the end anyway.
Here's the problem, right? I'm reading this book called 50 Philosophical Classics. And there's a chapter with a guy who his whole philosophy is on simulation. And he talks about the hyper real versus the real, right? What's real is this conversation we're having in the room. The camera's on us and them observing us having this conversation at home, that's the hyper real. But in the hyper real or the hyper reality, there's so many different nuances that they're missing out on in this conversation that they could base their entire lives on something that we say in the real through the hyper real, but have a completely misguided misconception of what the we're talking about, because they don't understand all the nuances happening in the room. They don't understand Adam for real. They just know what they see on camera. So that could be a mistake. If we're allowing these to just do these security cameras and that's all hyper real, there could be a lot of people who are putting up situations because maybe the camera's not reading it right. They may think this water gun is a real gun. They may think this cap gun is a real gun. They may think these dudes play fighting are really, you get what I'm saying?
But as the technology evolves, eventually like all that stuff will probably get worked out. Like,
what does that entail though? Like, because I could literally walk by you and you could, let's say the camera doesn't catch it, but you can just get real close to me and just stab me, right? And I'm literally leaking blood.
Right.
And then I attack you afterwards and I'm the one that gets in trouble. Like hypothetically, because the camera sees all, camera determines all. He ain't stabbing. There's no evidence of him stabbing him on camera.
Like, have you heard about?
I know that's like an absurd example.
Like the future of crime is a gunshot goes off and a drone is immediately deployed without any kind of human intervention to where the gunshot went off, and then the drone identifies the person running away from the scene or the car that shot that is taking off or whatever, and it just tracks that. And then at some point, like let's just like isolate this discussion down to this one thing, this one shooting idea, and then the drone following you. What if it gets to the point where no sane person would ever shoot somebody because it is so assumed that the drone is going to be effectively able to track you? I feel like that would be a good thing. That is a likely scenario going forward. And that, like, it already feels like, you know, if you compare today to the 70s, that you really like getting into crime or like being a shooter is just like an absurd idea.
Yeah,
as opposed to like
back then.
Yeah. Just because like if you want it to be like when you watch documentaries about serial killer in the 70s, you're like, it was this easy. Like I could have done this times 100 and
put on a wig and got away with 50 murders.
Could have killed 100 bitches.
Yeah. And now it's like, you know, like you want to shoot somebody. Like, you know, there's been like when the homeless guy was sleeping outside of my house and I was thinking about doing something to him. It's like there's cameras everywhere in my neighborhood. Like I would never have been able to consider really doing anything that crazy.
See like the logical snafu with like what you described of basically like Patriot missiles using precognition. Like at a certain point it's going to be like, it's going to preemptively attack us because it thinks we're going to attack.
But it's not going to attack. It's just going to track you.
Yeah, but that is certain. But where does that end? Essentially, because
I don't think they're ever going to let the drones just kill people because we think that they might have shot somebody.
But here's the thing, though.
Why would that ever be the case?
They just
insane.
recently passed some autonomous driving and technology initiatives recently, where like in trucking, all the trucks are going to be self-driving trucks. That's gonna go over to the drone thing. Because right now they have to pay people to control the drones, but they don't want to do that. They're going to upload software where they just do what the fuck they want to do. So automation is a good and a bad thing, because once you take shit out, human error is beautiful. The fact that you can commit a crime now and a cop might catch you or might not catch you is a beautiful thing. Like, I don't know if we want to get rid of that room for error, because that kind of makes us who we are.
We don't, because we all engage at least in some criminality. Or actually, when you really think about it, like, poor people live much of their lives outside on the street. Rich people don't.
Poverty is criminalized.
Everybody does drugs, but poor people sometimes have to do drugs on the street, and rich people get to do it in their home where there is no surveillance.
Right.
Yeah, and they oftentimes do way more deviant things and get away with it.
Exactly.
So.
For better or for worse, yeah.
Yeah, man, it'll be cool for a while. You know what I'm saying? Till you walk in on your girl fucking a robot. You're like, hold on, man. Technology. Fuck technology. Why is this Tesla robot f***ing my girl? You know what I mean?
But really, what's the difference between the robot and a dildo? The robot is just a way better dildo.
Yeah.
Do I get to fuck a female robot?
For sure.
But do you think robot pussy would be as good?
No, but maybe in 20
I'm willing
years.
to try.
But probably, okay.
Like, think about like the amount of technology that we're dealing with. Like,
it's scary.
Look at trans women of the 90s compared to now.
Yeah.
Like in 30 years.
They're going to have two pussies.
20 years ago, I wanted nothing to do with them. Nowadays, I'm all of them.
Right.
Not a care in the world. No, but okay. Have you guys done the virtual reality shit?
Nah, I haven't.
I really have to do it just so I could talk about it on here. But like I had a friend who was in his house, and he didn't realize that like one of his friends was like in the house walking around, like that they were awake. He thought they were asleep or whatever. So he didn't even like close his door or lock his door or anything. And he puts on the VR headset, and he's, hooking up with the woman in the VR headset, and his friend walks into the room and just sees him with the VR headset going, he's eating pussy in the metaverse, and his homie walks in on him, and I'm like, holy, that sounds like the most embarrassing thing I can ever think of, but this guy swears by it. He's like, it's so much better than just jerking off.
Well, at least he wasn't going
I gotta try it out.
That would have been fun.
Because all I got now is different gloves and shit, different textured gloves to jerk off. But if I get the VR shit, might be.
Yeah, because what is it about a pussy that feels so good to it? Like,
Submission.
At some point there will be moisturizing technology, there'll be warmth technology, there'll be so many different things that, like, obviously part of the appeal of having sex with a human vagina is the fact that this woman consented to it. But at some point they're going to be able to, like, I remember the first time I grabbed a boob on a sex doll.
Yeah.
It felt exact.
Did you suck it?
I didn't suck it because I was at a porn convention and probably a lot of other people had been sucking it. But it felt so real that I felt like I immediately kind of saw the future.
Yeah.
Like, like at some point that's going to be, it might not ever be good enough for me, but it'll definitely be good enough for a lot of people.
For certain people.
I used to have a flashlight back in the day. That was fire.
Yeah.
I smashed it several times. The flashlight's like a flashlight, but you take it off.
We got another one right here for you.
Yeah. I'm
surprised there hasn't been a pimp that's what he does on the hostro. He rents out sex toys.
Great.
Come on. Entrepreneurial.
Open up a little hotel down by Fig.
Right.
And no women, please do not try to bring a prostitute here. But I have a whole selection of sex toys that you can use for $15 an hour. It's a
you better watch it.
If this is all about coming, that's why I don't understand why dudes go to prison and start raping other men.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like
that's because they were raped.
That's the plan.
Just jerk off.
That's usually how it happens.
Just make a cool technological experiment, you know? Like, just come up with something, like anything besides just a dude's butt.
Yeah.
Do you see the intricacy of the fifis they create? Like, they go in.
I haven't gotten
Well, I had a sex toy idea. Is
hit me with it.
It's called the jog. It's a jack-off glove. Yeah, instead of arguing with your girl, just have a jog.
Have a jog.
I ain't put it out yet, Adam, but if you want to help me, right now it's a pack of socks. And you just, it's a joke.
I want it to look
So something like that.
I think I had one when I was a kid. Remember this?
Oh, wow. You used to beat off with the Nintendo hand? That's some
Power glove, dude. I
couldn't afford that.
When I was a kid, I wanted it bad.
I didn't even know that shit existed.
I don't even know what I would have done.
By the way, it did absolutely nothing. It's one of the most useless.
Oh, you had one?
I mean, I played with one. I think one of like
You couldn't like punch in the game.
It was supposed to work with Mike Tyson's Punch Out, I think. But like, if you notice, it actually has a controller on it, which is inevitably like.
I mean, I think the first like home console video game I ever played in my entire life was Duck Hunt. Which, if you really think about that technology of being able to point the gun at the screen and have it actually register,
top tier,
kind of impressive.
Show.
Hey,
and the pad.
You're getting a beat from the computer, Nathan.
Remember the running pad?
Yeah, of course, the power pad.
Yeah.
The only way to play 3D World Runner.
Oh my god!
Is that the one where you can do the track and field shit where you can run on it and jump and shit?
There's track and field as well.
It's weird they were able to invent that so early on.
Well, you know, they say all technology is military first, and it comes out like 20 or 30 years before in the military.
So military and then
military.
Well, like, no, but for real, like, they'll use technology to basically kill people.
Right.
And then at some point, they'll use technology to distribute.
Oh.
And then it'll like trickle down to everything else.
That makes sense from a CIA perspective because you want to see what the people are up to. Yeah. Everybody's going to watch people.
Well, really, just like that's the like the internet. Like when the internet came out, people were like putting on the internet pretty much like immediately. Like a lot of people, that was their first use case for it, right?
And although none of us believe in like gatekeeping, it is good to monitor people that are doing extra nefarious weird shit, right? Like, so
yeah, I mean, the weirder the search, the more likely this is somebody we need to pay attention to.
You look into this.
That makes real sense. I'm gonna research that.
There's definitely like an overlap on the Venn diagram there for sure.
I mean, like the dark web probably wouldn't exist if it wasn't for people trying to look at illegal, illicit shit on the internet. You know, like that technology exists because there's people that want to look at things that are so illegal that it would be really, really, really hard for somebody to like maintain a website with that kind of content.
So I always thought the dark web was for Africans. I didn't even know.
You give
Get your black ass on that other computer, mother.
Rubbing his forearm?
Funny you should say that.
Hey, I wanted to get your opinion on this, Kraig. This is something that came up here on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, but I know your stance on blackness and everything, so I wanted to see what your take on this is. Okay. All right, so I got a fight coming up on August 29th because Spodyface called me a jigaboo. Right. Jigawoo.
Are you still talking about this like present tense or?
Oh, no, we're fighting.
Oh, okay.
It's happening.
So he might have to beat up two people in the same night.
Yeah, he might have to.
Okay.
So we got into it. We got into it because he called me Uncle Tom and the J word because I said that I didn't have a problem with white comedians dressing up in blackface. Right. Because us as black comedians doing it, and under the comedy license of being creative, that shouldn't be a problem. Right. What say you on the matter?
Okay, I got love for you. He was correct in saying.
Yeah, you just asked, Kraig.
You would have called me the J word too?
I wouldn't have called you a jigaboo because I understand you're trying to be fair.
Right.
But unfortunately, there is no fairness in this country when it comes to black and white. You know what I'm saying? Now, at our level, it's some fairness. You work hard, you can get shit done. But there are some institutional, racist things that happen that where certain things shouldn't be viewed as equal. And with the whole history of blackface, the history of blackface, I don't know if you know, but there was a time where we were slaves.
I know that.
There was a time when white comedians from New York would go to the South because they had comedians that were slaves, and they would go to the South and watch these comedians do shows for their communities, and they would steal their acts and go back to Broadway and put blackface on and do the exact same exact same comedy acts they seen these slaves do in the South. They would go back to New York and they would do it on Broadway, and they would steal their jokes, steal their whole act.
Swagger jacket.
And they would put on blackface so they could be more convincing to the white audience that this is what these N-words niggas do down here down south.
But is there any expiration date on when we're just going to be like, okay, that was offensive then, that was terrible back then, it really probably hurt a lot of people. Is there at any point that we could just let this shit go? Because
I ain't never letting this shit go.
But what do you say about this then? What do you say about the white people who say that when black people dress up in whiteface and make fun of white people, that's racist to them too? We just feel like we can't tell you that that's racist.
Black people, non-whites can't be racist in this country. because we don't control the power dynamic. See, racism is about it's the ability to institutionally control your opportunities in life. We don't have that power. Racism goes one way. Mm-hmm. It's a lifestyle dictation where the superior financially and resource-wise is able to dictate to the lesser financially, not lesser in humanity, but lesser in resources, connections, what the you should be doing, how much minimum wage is, how much you're gonna pay for a pair of jeans, what's gonna put you in jail if you get into it with your bitch, how much time you gonna do if you go to jail. They have studies where they show white guys convicted of the same exact crimes as blacks and Hispanics, and they get 3 or 4 years for a crime, and the Mexican or black dude gets 15 years. So this is what racism is. This is why me as a black man in this country, I don't give a about the equality conversation when it comes to, well, white people should be able to do it because black people, not that, nigga. You got a head start on a whole lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to give me that one. You're just going to have to give me that one. That's just what it's going to be.
And we're going to have to be able to do it, and they can't.
The thing is, the sensitivity part of it. As men of any race, if I can do it and you do it, I can't get sensitive about it. I can't call the fade with you because you're a white dude in blackface. I don't with the shit, and I'm not cool with it. Get that shit away from me. But I'm not gonna do nothing physically to you. I'm not gonna think ill of your family. I'm gonna just keep away from you.
You just won't like it, but you ain't gonna.
I ain't gonna like it now. If it gets physical, where somebody burn a cross in my yard or some shit.
Well, it could be considered an act of aggression just because of like the pain that comes with that and all that. So just you being a level-headed person, you might not respond like that, but someone else might see that same thing. And
somebody might whoop your ass. I'm for all forms of equality. I grew up in an era where we just assumed white boys couldn't fight growing up. If you lost a fight to a white boy in the 90s,
proof that's not true.
Right, but what I'm saying is we know that's not true. We know that's not true, but we just assume that. That's something that can get you killed. You be a black dude from Compton and you move to somewhere in the Bay or somewhere in Modesto where it's these crazy ass white boys, and you think you could just run up on them, you could get your ass beat to death.
Not by the corn-fed big white boys.
Just regular white boys that don't play no games.
Yeah, for sure.
But see, in our culture, we got this misconception that all the people that don't play got to be gangsters. Not like these gangbanging niggas, they got cousins like me that whoop on them. Right. They got regular family that go to work that ain't with the bullshit. They say, nigga, you can't borrow no more money. Get the out of here, and then they go out and rob you.
Okay, but when we're talking about like what's offensive, it's like, yes, a white guy painting his face black and a black guy painting his face white are like literally equal. The difference is that a huge percentage of Americans are offended as black people when they see a white person paint their face black, and meanwhile, what percentage of white people were offended by Drewski painting his face white, pretending to be Erica Kraig? Yeah. I don't think almost anyone was offended. They did find it hypocritical, which, okay, that's a fair opinion. Right. But I don't think, like, let's be real. Like, there's a reason why the N-word is the most loaded, powerful word in the English language. And then meanwhile, I can say cracker on this podcast and not worry about getting demonetized. I can say cracker in front of, you guys can say cracker aggressively to a bunch of white people and nobody's going to take offense to it because, like, these things literally are just nothing without the greater societal context of who's offended by them. I do in some way think that, like, at some point the world will get to a point where a white person will one day just like do blackface in some sort of comedic thing and like somehow it'll be accepted more than we could ever expect right now.
Theo Vaughn will pull it off.
Yeah, but like I was talking about this with Michael Blackson the other day and neither of us could think of a person. He suggested Will Ferrell. I'm like, Will Ferrell is not.
He would never.
He's not ready to commit a suicide like that.
Funniest dude in the world.
It's gonna be Morgan Freeman.
Well, white comedians try to do this shit all the time.
They do.
Like you get these Rocky Balboa white comedians, tough. Hey, I don't give a. I'll say it. Like you get these, and they try to do it all the time. But what makes it stupid is like the context is never right. Like the white dudes that want to do this are never the white dudes that with black people for real. It's always the white dude that was raised somewhere where the town is 99.9% white. They've never really had any genuine experiences with anybody that wasn't white, and it's all based in ignorance. So, like in the hood, we make exceptions for the white boys that grew up with us, that gang bang, that do what we do. You know what I mean? They get away with a lot of shit, you know what I mean? So,
or even just rapping, tagging,
whatever it is. It's really a cultural thing. I think that's why so many people from my culture have a problem problem with the whole no jumper thing. It's just a culture thing. Like, they're not used to seeing, like, when I watched that video, it was mostly white guys in the room and they was getting on Doughboy. So that.
By the way, I think he thinks me and Josh are the same person.
I don't know who it was.
Many people do.
But what I'm saying is, this is where the hyper reality part comes in that I said earlier, because I'm on the other side looking. So I have no real understanding of what happens in here. So I'm just seeing a dude that ain't black and a bunch of other dudes that ain't black talking crazy to a nigga.
Black guy, be
you get
funny.
what I'm saying?
Why
Make us laugh, nigga.
You get what I'm saying? So it looks like, hold on, this what the nigga? Let's go burn across an atom jar, nigga. Fuck Adam.
Friend. And it happens to be your homie.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like. And so it's like, you know, that's the part. That's why this shit is dangerous. Podcasting is dangerous. You know, everybody shouldn't have a mic because they don't understand. Like, some of these is taking this shit super literal.
Or also, and inversely, everybody shouldn't have ears.
Right.
Because at one point, is it on the interpreted? It's not just how people choose to interpret it is kind of on them to a certain degree. You can't fully blame us just because you're taking, like you said, like a fragmented view of a out of context moment, and then they're going to frame it however they choose to.
Indeed. And you in that book I was telling you about, they talk about the whole reason Disneyland exists, right? And this is one of his philosophies. It's the whole reason Disneyland is a thing.
Just Walt Disney didn't like Jews.
Well, they wanted to be able to have something to point to other than the reality they want us to believe that would be fantasy. So anytime you didn't believe what they were saying, they could point to this like, no, that's fantasy. This is real. You get what I'm saying? And
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And this goes back to the whole surveillance conversation at a certain point, especially with the popularization of AI and all that. It's so difficult to distinguish what's real and what's not, even when it's shown right to us.
Right. And that's exactly what they want. It's
confusion, mass confusion.
Pimps have a strategy when they're trying to turn out a girl, right? One of there's like 39 rules to pimping, but one of the things they say is you got to keep a bitch on a can't do mission.
What's that mean?
So that means you keep her on the hamster wheel. You give her something that she could never complete, that she has to chase, so she never has time to think about what you're doing. Because as soon as she is off that chase of what you want her to do, she's going to focus on you and try to destroy you.
Right.
That's us as citizens. The government has built everything, so we're on the chase.
Right. Yeah, I just read this extremely long New Yorker article about Andrew Tate and his whole mission that he was doing, dude. And, you know, he was actually very influenced by a lot of the sort of classic pimps. Like Pimpin' Ken had a book that he basically would make all the dudes who are like his acolytes, Hustler University, I think it was called or whatever. He would make them all read this book by Pimpin' Ken that basically explain to you how you break a woman down and bring her to the point where she's not gonna, you know, stand up for herself or whatever. And it's super disgusting. Like, the more I learn about pimping, the more I hate that culture.
I'm not gonna lie, like when we would see homies with like the iceberg slim or like the pimping, we would like make fun of them. We'd be like, what the f- are you doing, bro?
But because you had already consumed them and already knew these lessons.
No, because it was like
You could learn a lot from the pimps when I look at your last relationship. She was the pimp. She was the pimp.
I've been on both sides of the game.
A lot of dudes are getting pimped by women and don't even realize it.
Facts.
Yeah, man.
He just looked at me.
No, I didn't realize. I think you're the highest form of man when you're okay with somebody else your girl.
Yes, thank you. Me and Diddy.
Yeah.
Wait,
that don't mean that I would.
Wait.
No, Craig, please explain.
Please explain that. How does that the highest level?
Okay,
fascinated.
Because you have no how can I put this? So like in India they have these yogis and shit, right? And the highest form of these yogis or these thinkers are the dudes that are bums. That sleep on the street, they have no ties to anything, no woman, no finance.
Everyone's just
See where you're going, yeah.
You know what I mean? So the reason that's the highest form of man is because you're not controlled by your desires to control people. You're just letting shit happen how it happens. And if you're in that state, nobody can ever get to you. You know what I'm saying?
So allowing people to f your bitch is one step towards nirvana.
Well, no.
If you are genuinely unbothered about the thing that like almost every dude would be like extremely upset / terrified by, it does say something about you, the same way that the guy who's happy, you know, eating barely anything and like sleeping on the street or whatever, when you think about like a monk, I understand how that is, you know, a thing. Like for me, it's purely capitalistic. It's purely like, oh, this is like profitable. Maybe we should do this for a few years. But I mean, I could understand. I mean, that is the weird thing about it is I know couples like we are like that for content. I know couples that are like that all the time, meaning the dude could be spending his Thursday night just a couple of random girls out on the town or whatever, and his wife is totally cool with it, thinks it's hot. She's getting dicked down by a variety of different guys throughout the day, and they're a unit, and they genuinely are either excited by it or are just like fine with it. And I don't understand really.
Cracker want a poly.
Yeah, I just don't. That to me is like a lot, you know. Yeah. That's hard for me to imagine having that kind of communication.
When you think about it and you break it down, not saying that I'd be okay with somebody, smashing my wife. I don't know. But when you think about it, though, it really is hypocritical by men because most men hypocritical by most men because most men would be like, I'd never let another man my woman that I'm a man. But those same dudes probably cheat on their chick.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So you'll go out and be able to bang your chicks behind somebody's back and be dishonest about it, but then you'll be mad if your chick is honest and tells you.
I agree with the honesty aspect of it, but there is like physiological differences between men and women cheating, right? Like clearly. Based on
woman can get pregnant.
Well, yeah, just based on our anatomy.
Right. Well, I'm just saying just based on the fact of saying I would not be okay if other men slept with my woman, but I would be okay sleeping with other women. That's just stupid to me.
What if it's forcibly?
Well, that's not
like. What if you make your girl lay in the bed with you while you cheat on her? Stop crying, bitch. Take it back.
What if you do it in a really nice way? You get her a whole little setup. You got a little recliner. There's like a foot massager. You make her a Long Island iced tea, a little bowl of bonbons and pretzels.
She's at gunpoint. Like,
you do it in like a really, really nice way. Because I think everybody's like used to thinking about this on some Diddy shit, where it's like some weird abusive shit. Yeah. There's got to be a way, right?
Yeah, got it.
Some women like abuse. I know that's stupid to say, but like domestic violence is not always abuse because some bitches like to fight. Have you ever dealt with a woman that was very physical? And
Never. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Well, I have. It's very uncomfortable.
Where that's just like their language?
That's their language.
How they get down?
Something dramatic has to happen in order for them to feel some shit.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And then like with her, I think, and that's not the only one. I think I would say the vast majority of like Latino women that I've been with got squabbles for sure. My last definitely was like the most prolific. She could give Tyson a run for her money on an angry day.
We can't normalize that. We need to take the sexy Latinas who are abusing their men and we need to deport them or at the very least imprison them.
For sure.
There's kind of like a hot element to it, to a degree.
See, okay, that's why I'm saying. That's why she's your pimp is because you liked her beating you until it got so extreme that you couldn't come into work for a week.
No, I definitely like the feistiness and the spiciness. And
I think
all
you
that.
just like knowing that she likes you.
The passion. Well, yeah, there's probably an element of that as well. Like, because that's the quickest way to know a bitch don't with you no more is when she don't care, when she's not tripping on you.
But is that care or is that grooming?
No, I think
she's trying to turn you into a bitch.
It's definitely predatory.
Yeah.
For sure.
I was once in a relationship where a chick put her hands on me a couple times, but in my mind, I thought like I was okay with it because it was only in times where I got caught around. So I was just like, well, if I wouldn't have been out here on bullshit, I probably wouldn't have got. Do you know what I mean? So
most women are horrible people, dog.
No, most women are horrible fighters, which is why we let them get away with it. It's because if my girl punched me in the face as hard as she wants, realistically, it's probably not even going to leave a mark unless she like really connects with the eye socket or something. You know, like
what about spit on you?
Ooh. See, well, but I could spit on her. It's not going to like damage her. You know, it's really just all about just disrespecting them when you spit, right?
Right.
Not that I would ever take part in that.
Depends on how bad her breath is. There could be
how bad her breath is.
Loogie in your eye. Yeah,
Not to be honest, I think though, like you kind of hit the nail on the head earlier. Like a lot of people, like that's their love language because that's how they were raised. They weren't taught communication methods and things like that. So
physical touch,
and that's like an expression of love in their eyes. So for me, I think I have like me having that understanding. I was probably more tolerant than I should have been in certain instances.
Definitely. Yeah. It really like suggested that you had no self-respect at a certain point. Like, how does he just keep letting this happen? And then he's coming on the podcast and he's lying and telling stories about, oh, these Mexicans were fighting in the park and I tried to break it up and one of them slugged me and shit. And it's like, we all are sitting there like, yeah, okay. It wasn't the girl who's been beating the fuck out of you for the last couple months. Okay.
No, once I'm like making up excuses like battered housewives, like, oh, like I was trying to clean up the dog shit and the pooper scooper fell out the sky and gave me a black eye.
I fell down a flight of stairs.
yeah, literally. Like I fell up a flight of stairs.
That's why I have a black eye. Wait, that doesn't even.
I've been in that situation, so I can relate. It's very embarrassing. You don't want to tell people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also like you have a protective instinct too.
Yeah.
Right.
Beyond that, it's like, yo, like it's damn near, it's like you don't want to snitch on your crimey.
Right.
But I don't really see how I could be in a relationship with a woman who is really doing damage on me, because before I get my ass beat by her, I'm gonna beat her ass.
Right.
Like I would just like if I was in a relationship with a woman and she punched me as hard as she could in the face, I can't help but think that like my animal instincts would just make me punch her pretty hard as like in the face as well. Like I feel like, and then boom, the cops get called and I'm going to jail.
But add this caveat to it though. What if you got caught cheating? So what if she catches you in the act of cheating? And then that's why she hit you.
I kind of earned this. Like,
she wouldn't have hit me if I would have been fucking
for sure. Yeah.
She was getting mad over legit things. I'm not gonna say like 90% of the time I was on bullshit.
Right.
It was.
You weren't cheating though.
No, it was a bit of a crass reaction or a harsh reaction. She got super mad at the 20v1.
That didn't even happen just because you
content. She got
you already broke.
No.
Right.
Okay, yeah. There's a.
We did a 20 versus 1 with an extremely famous star, Adriana Chechik, and he was on it. And I don't know if some people know this, but sometimes 20 versus 1s can be rehearsed and faked. And, you know, Lush comes in and she's kind of hamming it up a little bit, acting attracted to him. But really, if we were to go watch your performance on that, it's nothing.
Bro,
like,
you
didn't really do shit.
The first thing I said is like, yo, I might have STDs. I smoke cigarettes and I'm an alcoholic. Like I literally was trying to get eliminated. And then Adam thought it was funny. So he's like, nah, like make him like rap. Have him freestyle about you.
And so she attacked you over that?
Yeah, no, like literally, bro, I came home and the door was like the extra lock was on the door. So like to track, you know, like predatory tracking, surveying my movements. And then as soon as I opened that door, pow, beside my head.
Oh, wow.
Feel me?
And you didn't fight back. Did you ever fight back?
Casamigos upside the cranium.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. Bro, house of the homies. Thank you. No, did I look? Is okay. When you were talking about did that instinct kick in? That instinct is like survival instinct. Like stop hurting me. Once like the threat is subdued, I wasn't like trying to get my get back on a 5'2" Guatemalan.
If the threat is actually genuinely subdued, but also like a lot of times the best way to make sure that you don't incur more damage would be to show them like, hey, I'm gonna hit you back.
Yeah.
The cold part is like she's been in other relationships that were abusive and I wasn't gonna.
Well, that's the problem is all these Mexicans are letting her do that shit.
I wasn't trying to perpetuate those patterns. And
did you think about going and beating her after Wack exposed that she was his friend?
Why would I give a about what first of all wasn't true, and why would I give a about what my bitch does after we're not together no more? Like,
everybody gives a what they chick does after they. We all care.
Not really. Like sometimes you're like happy about it. You're like, take her off my hands.
Nah,
like,
I'll be going crazy.
I wouldn't have even given that any reaction. The reason why I did was more like, whoa, I feel like what Brick Baby was going through. People are going to go to do whatever they can to try to attach themselves to this motion because I got a name.
Indeed.
So whatever you got to do, you feel me? So I'm more like, damn. And I'm more looking at my bitch like, oh, you stupid as you feel me? Like to even allow this to happen, allow this conversation to exist, because now somebody else is entering the chat that would have no business being there. Do I give a about someone on her? No, I hope she's happy. I wish her the most orgasms. We're not together anymore. I'm doing me. She could do her. You feel me?
I had an ex-girlfriend that I dated for 2 years when I was younger, when I was like 22 or whatever. And she would like try to upset me by hitting me up periodically because I like dumped her in a pretty dramatic way, like really hurt her feelings and like her up by leaving her. And she would hit me up anytime she did some whore shit and just tell me Like the first time that she let a guy her in the ass, she just like straight up texts me, tells me all about it, just to make me mad. And like, even like, I remember after we'd been broken up for like a month or two, she told me like, so I've had sex with 23 guys since we broke up. And she wasn't lying. I knew some of them. Some of them were guys I was like hanging out with at the bar and shit. It was pretty awkward for me.
And she wasn't lying.
That didn't piss you off?
No, it did. It made me super mad. Like, but also like, I wanted to be free of her. That I like, she was telling me this stuff, and then in the same breath would basically be like, so if you're so mad about it, why don't you come over and f me right now? But I was so determined to get out of the relationship that even though I'm like, I have a thing where the bigger a whore she is, the more turned on I am by it. So when she's trying to upset me by telling me that she 23 dudes in 2 months, I'm literally like reading the text message with a throbbing boner.
Gotta love it.
Like, oh my God, this fucking pig. Yeah, like, I mean,
Wow.
is that weird?
She had big tits with a tight
Either you're
ass.
weird or I'm weird, because like my last relationship, the last serious one, we broke up like a year and a half ago, whatever. Like I hit like with Envision, because I had heard, because she was from Sacramento, I had heard that she was fucking with somebody that I knew, and the thought of that shit was driving me, just because I would not want to, but I would just envision her this dude, and I'd be like, I would be losing my shit.
Would you see his ass in the vision?
No.
Wait, but okay, if I let's say she left me and she tells me some shit like that, or even if I just like knew about her a guy or two, I would have been hurt, I would have been sad, I would have been upset. But because I wanted to be free of the relationship so bad, I was actually kind of hyped, because I'm like, listen, if you 23 guys since we were together, to me that really tells me that like you're putting a lot of space between this. Like I'm free. Like
I had to do a lot to get over this.
yeah.
So we had different mind states.
No, but Doughboy, there's exes. I have ex bitches. I wouldn't give a if they're getting blow banged right now. Like literally, I don't give a what. And then there's others I still like have a degree of affection for, but I still really wouldn't. I feel like once you're out of that sequence and there's no reason to really give a. But yet my ex still is hopping in Instagram comments of random bitches she thinks want to me and threatening them. So for someone that's so
crazy.
over shit, like I don't even know.
Clearly, she's at a level of derangement that nobody else can compare to. She should be imprisoned and or deported.
Do you feel like it's really? Do you feel like it's really over now?
So I mean, do I feel like it's over
Like
now? Like
Dunsies.
we're not together.
Right.
But like that's the thing. That's been my friend for a long ass time. Like through multiple relationships and shit. It's like she's gonna like always be in my life in some capacity. Like
would you let public perception at all sway if you got like? Would you ever let that stop you? Like, man, motherfuckers gonna look at me like I'm a weenie if I get back with her.
If I gave a f- about that, I wouldn't have gone with her to begin with.
Gotcha. Okay.
You feel me?
Because
like,
she had out there and stuff.
Just like both of us have a lot of baggage.
She banged like Be Real probably, or
with like both of us have baggage. You feel me? Like
just
as long as it wasn't DJ Muggs.
I almost said that, and I'm like, DJ Muggs is not like recognizable above. So in my mind, I pivoted to Be Real.
Imagine the cipher my Eskimo brothers would have.
You know what's crazy about that? That you probably don't feel it this way, but this is probably she's trying to destroy you. But people don't look at it like that.
No, but she's literally hitting up me
sure.
and Josh and telling us,
sure.
telling us that you're smoking fentanyl.
Tight.
She sent us videos of her going around the house and showing us like a bunch of like used up drug paraphernalia. Like that's what she was doing.
She told me.
What did Jackie say? It wasn't me.
She told me you guys used to go fishing at MacArthur Park.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Deep sea diving. Deep sea diving with like the icicles. You just carve the little circle. Not Germ actually is a great person.
Oh God, bro.
No, she is.
That's her name.
Germ. Yes, and yes, she has them.
I think it's free.
No,
but I think that I just did not bring out the best in her, and it was just a combustible relationship.
You need to be with a delicate woman who will not beat you.
I definitely think that the love language that I respond to is a little bit less violent.
That would be good.
You know what I mean?
Start.
I think that's like more conducive to my growth, but I also understand that like I'm very aggravating, so you know it is what it is. But I don't want to like perpetuate this negativity.
You say you understand that you're very aggravating?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, because she's convinced him.
She told you that? My bad. I mean,
no, for sure.
No,
she's convinced him he doesn't deserve any better than her.
Do you ever heard of the field technique?
Huh?
The field technique.
What's that?
So it's psychological torture. A lot of bitches use it, especially like pretty bitches. So it's an acronym, PHIL. The P is for what the f does the P stands for? The P is for, God damn it, I went blank.
You want to look it up?
Nah, not punitive. It'll come back to me in a second. But it's basically how bad bitches get dudes and shit. Like they use this technique to hook you. You know what I mean? So
now it's called Instagram.
Yeah. So they just basically use guilt. I can't think of what the acronym PHIL is for. The P is for. God damn it. I'll come back to it later.
Essentially, they manipulate.
But basically they attach hooks to the things that you do. So like they'll use your word against you, right? So like if you say, hey baby, we're gonna go to Disneyland later on, I'll pick you up at 5, and then something happens at No Jumper, you don't get there till 6:30. Instead of just understanding the situation, she'll just rise you. Well, you said you would be here by 6, and if you loved me, you would be here by 5. You get what I'm saying? So it's just a hook that they use to get you, and a lot of times chicks deal with guys that they're smarter than, and they use this technique, but I had a brain fart and can't remember all the words in the acronym.
Well, she's definitely significantly smarter than me, but the bar's set pretty low there. So
what the are you talking about? You're like, you said yourself that you're the smartest person on the jumper. You have clearly
the bar's set pretty low.
As much as you are in many ways, you are like something akin to a genius in some ways.
Yeah,
you're
like Rain Man,
like the guy from Wu-Tang.
Got it.
You got it. Oh, he found it. He found his acronym.
So the P is for protector.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll put themselves in a lot of situations where you have to protect her. Like it'll be some shit like, yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble with my boss at work. He's always asking me to do things, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. I think he likes me. I think he's almost harassing me. They're always in these situations where when they tell you about them, it's prompting you to want to protect her. Mm-hmm. And it's on purpose. It
sounds a little bit familiar so far.
Right. The H is for hero. So once they get you on the hook for trying to protect them, then they say things to prompt you to want to step in and be the hero. You know what I mean? My boss is giving me less hours because I won't come. I don't know how the I'm going to pay my rent. You know what I mean? So now she's low-key prompting you to want to step in and
put your cape on.
Right. The I is for integrity. So the integrity part is, well, they'll start using your word against you, like I said earlier. When you said you love me, if you love me, you would do this. You don't really love me. You don't really care about me. If you did, you would do what you said you would do. And the L is for love, and they lock it in with the love. But it's called the field technique. A lot of bad bitches, and I've dealt with a lot of bad bitches, they all use this shit.
Guess what? The ugly ones are doing it too.
Yeah, the ugly ones too. Yeah.
The fat ones too.
Yeah,
I would know.
The tortoise have since adopted this behavior.
Because they're the weakest sex, right? The weaker sex physically, not mentally. They're smarter than us. But imagine being the weakest nigga in your crew, and you imagine being a scrawny dude, and all your crew is big ass 6'5", 300-pound monsters. How you gonna get these niggas to do what you want them to do?
Statistically, I don't think they're smarter than us.
You don't? In what way though?
I think like the when you look at like almost any field that requires like immense knowledge and education, that men typically rule those fields.
And I can see that.
Also, weren't they kind of like restricted from a lot of education for like hella centuries and stuff?
Not in any of our lifetimes.
So do you think that men are better at getting their way from the opposite sex than women? Because I feel like they get their way with us. They get their way with us more than we get our way with them in general.
I don't know if I would agree with that. I feel like if anything, that men seem like they're way better at manipulation and coercion, which are kind of like key components of getting your way. And like, I know it's like a sample size, and this is anecdotal, but I'm always watching those Jubilee debates where they'll do the 20 versus 1, basically, where they have like one person surrounded by people. And I don't know if it's just like smart women want to do other things with their time, but I'm always kind of astounded by the fact that the women are always like noticeably like 20 IQ points lower than the dudes.
Right.
Like it really stands out to me a lot, and it really like makes me, but I also, I feel like
Jubilee debates can't be the barometer.
Okay, but when it comes to debating, when it comes to like this sort of like fierce conversational, like debating, once it gets to like a really extreme degree, is basically like a sport. And when it comes to like, strategy games or whatever, like I play poker. poker is like almost every great poker player is a dude. For sure. 95% of the people who play the game in the first place are dudes, but then when you really look at the upper echelon, it's probably even more. It's probably like 99%.
Except for that one girl that cheated with the thing in her butthole or whatever.
That is so not even close to what happened, but also she sucks in general. And she's the homegirl, but she doesn't know what the hell she's doing. But like chess, you could say the same thing. I'm like pretty into like Scrabble, like everyone who's good is a dude. Like when it comes to like applying yourself and like taking something so serious that you make it like your identity, feel like men gravitate towards those. So even if women could have like an average higher IQ, because let's be real, also a lot of dudes are so stupid that they could barely get out of bed in the morning. But I think like men's intelligence tends to be more polarized, like idiots and geniuses, whereas like the average woman veers more towards the middle of the graph. That's like what I've read in the past.
Right.
Well, that makes sense.
I see your point. I see.
But I think bitches are dumb as
But I do think women are more manipulative than men, though.
So
Like,
women
at least
speak
in my
fallacy, bro. They don't speak logic. They speak fallacy, and they get men to accept it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you argue with a woman, right, there's many fallacies, but one is called an ad hominem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when instead of sticking to the point that you're arguing about, you talk about the faults in the other person.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And us being smarter, we actually buy into this shit.
Right.
Like, if I'm right about the toast being burnt, what the f does that have to do with me the bitch 2 years ago?
It's two separate conversations.
You know what I mean?
The average woman will rely on all of the fallacies of like bad arguing, like so consistently. Like anytime you argue with a woman, you will try to speak about like the average person does this, and they will always respond to you with some anecdote that they think disproves what you're saying. And then you have to explain, I'm not saying that everybody does this. I'm just saying that on average, I think even this conversation right here, like the average woman would be listening to this, I think, and they would probably be like, well, I know a woman who's really, really smart. And I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't really change the fact that I'm saying that the average woman is like this. And like, you just have to explain that multiple times anytime you argue with a woman. It is stunning.
Do you think that do you equate like the ability to be manipulative and like in a superior manner? Is that what intelligence is defined by more than anything else?
I don't even really think that women are like better at manipulating than men. It's just
they're not.
The reality is that women have their sexuality that they can weaponize and use against you, and we are essentially powerless to it.
Well,
but
we're all used to that.
They have to manipulate to be in the game.
Yeah, they do.
That's
for sure.
Yeah,
they have no choice. But then also think about this: how many female cult leaders are there? Barely any.
Barely.
But how many of the followers? How many female cult followers?
Tons. Yes.
I'm saying harems of hoes
because they speak fallacy. That's what they speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bitches ain't shit. I'm gonna get tattooed right
now. You can't spell fallacy without phallus, bitch.
No, that's some funny shit. I'm not making it out like I just actually think all women are. I just think that like if you have a woman in your life, you have to like enroll them in college. You have to like listen. Like I'm gonna work. You can raise the kids, but you're also gonna have to go to Harvard in order to compete with me.
Most definitely.
Mentally.
Or don't compete and just be like, for sure.
Hey, I wanted to ask you this, Kraig, because you know Adam is taking a serious interest in possibly doing stand-up.
You, I think, are making it sound like it's more serious than it actually is.
I'm trying to get him there.
Doughboy's
I'm trying
also
to get him
taking a
there.
serious
I want to get him there. What advice would you give him into starting stand-up, and how can he get off offensive jokes without coming off offensive?
Oh man, that's a great question. For somebody like Adam, see, I started comedy at 27. I started late. I don't know how old you are, but
42.
So you have an advantage because people already kind of know how you think, and you got a lot of content out there. So my advice would be write jokes from the content you've created. Don't like, especially shit that's more personal to your personal life. Because if you figure out how to just talk about your life and make it funny, then it's gonna come easy to you. You know what I'm saying? But if you try to be funny, it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be. Just talk about your life. And don't worry about laughs, because people laughing doesn't mean something is funny. It's really about being understood and having a point of view, like a solid point of view on a topic. Even if it's something that people will disagree with or agree, it doesn't matter. Just as long as they feel a certain way. Because really telling jokes, being a comedian is really an argument. It's really you trying to prove your point to somebody. And and then the funny is secondary.
So let me ask you this though. I'm always interested in the creative process of, because his question was based on a lie, which is that I'm like thinking about getting into stand-up comedy, which is not true. But what is your like creative process like in terms of writing down jokes? Like do you stick to a schedule of any sort?
I mean, yeah, when I have time, I do, but it comes from conversation like this.
Okay.
It comes from life. I get out and like try to experience things. Me being an MC first, I'm really good with bars, so I may just write a funny roast here and there and leave it and then come back and like reverse engineer into that. You know what I'm saying? And then podcasting is a part of it. Once I have an idea I try to see if I can talk about it like we're doing for a couple hours. If I can talk about it for a couple hours, then I go back and watch it. I'll condense it. You know what I mean? And then I go to the open mics. I work it that way. And then I just build it that way.
And that's where you would have a good advantage over a lot of comedians in the game, because you podcast 20, 30 hours a week. So you talk so much about things. That's why maybe I am pushing him into something that he doesn't want to. But I think he'll be good because he actually makes me laugh.
He made an interesting point though about like the audience already kind of being familiar with you, which will kind of lubricate them just to be more.
But I think it'll probably have the opposite effect because I'm like so polarizing. A lot of people hate me and argue.
That's good though.
That too, though.
That's good.
That's good.
You want them to feel something.
Fuck these, man. As long as you can get them to understand why you say shit, the shit you say, eventually they're gonna be like, he's the greatest.
I think that Doughboy thinks that I want to get on stage at a comedy club and say, well, you know, the thing about black people.
For sure he does.
Black people are violent, right? They're violent. They're more violent than white people. Let me tell you all about it.
These guys on the podcast are in a gang.
That's some funny
So
shit.
one of my podcast co-hosts, he pulled out a gun on the other one the other day.
You gotta stop saying.
Never happened.
No, that's like just a cook that up. That's a fake scenario.
Gotcha.
Kraig, I'm very curious about this. Like, what are your thoughts on the blowing up and now like seeming implosion of the Rogan sphere? You being like a comedian that
This implosion is overstated, right? Like, what is the implosion? His podcast
I don't
still
know
doing
what
super
implosion
well.
well, I mean, like
You just see these American redacted or whatever these commentary channels are who all want to push this narrative that the Rogan sphere is over.
Okay, yeah,
I think this has been overstated, right?
So no, what are your thoughts just overall on the fact that this was like a whole brand new avenue in comedy that kind of was that Joe Rogan created, and there's like this whole scene that kind of exists outside of traditional comedy, and a lot of these people didn't get their chops in the same way just like you did. So
I think
they're amongst the most successful in the world right now.
Yeah, I think it's needed, man, because you know, good comedians, whatever you're supposed to say, you say the opposite. That's what a good comedian does. It's not about like being agreeable and having everybody like me. It's about like, what are you saying? Like, what does your comedy say? What's the message behind who you are and why the you say what you say? So the fact that Joe Rogan was able to be successful, I applaud it. I don't agree with all the shit that some of the cats say, but I mean, it's free speech. So I don't give a, you know what I mean? It is what it is. So hopefully it doesn't implode any further. We need more sleeper cells of counterculture communities, of people that say what the they want to say. I'm all for that. So I hope it doesn't blow all the way up.
You want to like? Would you perform in Austin at those?
Yeah, for sure.
Mothership and all.
Yeah,
that?
you know, I mean, everybody was tripping on the Kevin Hart roast, and
I wanted to get your thoughts on that. What were your thoughts about that? Because now he's getting a lot of backlash because he came out and said, "Hey man, I didn't know what everybody was going to say. I didn't have no control over these jokes. I couldn't take nothing out." Then they found out, yeah, you did. You took out 18 jokes, but you left in some other jokes that were kind of offensive. What's your take on that?
But it seems like the jokes that were removed were not removed because of things that Kevin Hart would have wanted removed, right?
So it wasn't even...
When we looked up what jokes were removed, which I forget if we did that in front of you, it was like some stuff about Trump and Melania,
some short jokes,
which doesn't really seem like something that he would have cared about. And then the short joke is like, maybe they removed that because it was repetitive or something. Because you got to imagine that's like the thing that Kevin Hart is the least sensitive about. I'm sure he's been hearing it since he was 10.
This is for sure like the edgiest thing I remember.
Right.
Yeah.
On there.
How do you feel about some of the jokes that was even said on it? You feel like some of the people crossed the line?
Man, here's the thing, man. Cross the line as much as you want. If it's funny, I don't give a. But the glaring thing is like, and I hate to speak on it, but like white comedians don't have to be as funny as black comedians. So you get certain white comedians that blow up and get to this catastrophic level, and they're talented, but it's a nigga tap dancing, playing the saxophone, building tents and managing 10 kids and doing comedy, and he can't get a shot. So when I see shit like that, it doesn't bother me, but it just reminds me that, damn, this shit is really political. Because even the host, he's one of the funniest dudes out here, but to me, it didn't make sense him hosting the Kevin Hart shit.
Yeah, but like literally what you're talking about is perpetuated to the umpteenth degree by that whole Rogan sphere scene. That's like everything that you just described, but magnified even further.
Yeah. So I mean, and the thing is, you gotta the thing is the current, right? So it's all about being in the right place at the right time. So if you just happen to be an okay comedian and you get involved with the right movement, then it's the movement that blows you, you know. So it's like, you know, those politics are difficult, you know what I mean? Because you, like you said, it's out here that can do way more than what we can do that have nothing, you know what I mean? So in the Rogan, I'm sorry, in the Kevin Hart roast, to answer the question, I felt like it was a great roast. I felt like the gay jokes were a little bit more like disrespectful to me than the black jokes.
What? Really?
Like The Rock.
I was a gay man? Or?
No. If I was gay, my boyfriend would be here.
Really scathing.
Yeah.
If I was gay, I'd have a Chippendales dancer on my lap right now.
He kept talking about Kevin's girl and you know what I mean? I thought that was kind of like, that was kind of hacky, surfacey level shit, you know what I mean?
What about when I was out wilding out the other day where we were all there besides Lush, she was in a K-hole, but we DDG, his joke, he only I think got off like one or two jokes on Nick Cannon, but one of them was basically like, your baby mothers are all whores.
Right, see, that's hacky.
That did stand out to me. I was like, wow, I feel like if there is a line, that kind of crossed the line. I don't know though. I mean,
Isn't it kind of how you say it half the time?
Well, I think it crosses from trying to be funny to just being mean. It's like, nigga just hit you with a joke, but man, that bitch is a slut. Like, that's not funny at all. It's just...
to be fair, it was like the rapping part. So it's like, you know, I feel like the standard is lower when you're rapping the bars because part of the humor is the fact that, oh, they just rhymed those two things together, and that's kind of funny because like the actual bar we were looking on paper would be like something store, blah blah blah, your baby mamas are all whores. It's like if that was just a joke and it wasn't forced to rhyme as like the rap thing, then nobody would have even considered it even sort of a joke.
But you put it over a beat and rap to it, it's kind of lit.
Well, not all fake though, man, because all this shit seems so rehearsed now that I've actually been in the
it's not rehearsed, it's all improv.
No, the man.
I just got my dick back.
Lovable loser. Can't do that anymore.
Wait, can I wanted to read the rest of those archetypes. I was really into this before. All right. The neurotic, anxious, tightly wound, and worried. They demand that things are done their way and often use manipulation to control their environment. Who does that sound like?
Who does that sound like?
Josh came around for me too. But he's not really like an on-camera personality.
Nah, Josh is part of the shit though. He's for sure, like that's Josh.
Oh, okay. The dumb one, naive and oblivious. They often misunderstand situations literally and provide comic relief through pure simplicity. Who's the?
There's a few pretty obvious examples.
He quit 3 years ago.
I wasn't even thinking about him. That's funny as fuck.
I'm trying to think. Who's like the morons among us?
Who is the morons here?
I mean, it's hard to.
Really?
Is it you?
Morons
No,
among us.
if
That's
it's
a
me,
movie.
then we're doomed.
Who is it?
I want to say because it's mean.
It's
fool.
cool if you don't say it because I agree that is super.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
All
mean.
right.
I'm not gonna say. We all know who it is.
So tell me off
It's the
camera.
dumb. No, like
Okay.
you know who it is. Like it's for sure the dumbest person you know.
It's not really jumping out to me. But
Here in the note.
Chat,
Who do y'all think?
chat. Who's the dumbest? Let him know.
Who's the dumbest?
Let him know. Anyways,
You should just say it at this point.
no,
because
because
it seems so mean.
they'll for sure hurt me really bad.
All right, cool. Let's do the next one. All right.
Okay, the bitch/bastard. Selfish, cynical, and highly critical. They use this sounds like me too. They use their sharp tongue and wit to point out others' flaws, often making biting remarks.
Yeah, I see some of you in that.
There's a little bit of me in that. Oh, T-Rail was the dumb one you're saying?
Well, I think
That's who the chat is suggesting.
No, I think the bastard is TRL more like that. He's like had the snarky remarks and contrarian, and
But he's combined now with
going
the dumb. the dumb part too. Kinda.
But I feel like it would be like purposely oblivious to try to like ignore. He's not really dumb, but he would play dumb for the situation sometimes.
Okay, and then you have the womanizer / manonizer, or manizer is the word that they wrote, which doesn't seem like it should be a word. And it says, superficial and overly fixated on sex or short-term romance. They're incredibly confident in their pursuit of partners. Now, I will say, obviously, I'm probably the most openly horny person, but I'm not like seeking out additional relationships. I don't feel like that's like a big part of my
that's not sharp
character.
I was gonna say, is that Brick Baby?
Oh no, but that sounds actually a lot like Sharp.
That sounds like Sharp.
Sharp fits that more than anyone.
Yeah,
It's like Sharp.
That I could think of. Okay, the materialistic ones, spoiled, entitled, and immature. They focus heavily on wealth, status, and luxury, often whining when they don't get what they want. I don't know that we have anyone like
we
that.
have no real materialistic.
We're all too broke.
I feel like that would not play terribly well in this.
Right.
I feel like I'm super materialistic, but I just don't like have the means
Right, to get
the
this
way I like
right.
to.
You have
Right
the
now,
mind of a materialist.
It's a time. What did Dame Dash say? I don't have money. It's just I got timing issues.
In their own universe, quirky, spacey, and disconnected from reality, these characters march to the beat of their own drum. I don't know that we have that.
Ricky?
But this is like
quirky.
very useful to me because I feel like anyone that we like thought about bringing on the channel, we could kind of like put them into these.
That's how I built my
These
show.
baskets.
You did,
Yeah, because it's conflict. It creates conflict.
right?
Yeah, so
But so do you not want more than one of each person on a podcast?
Well, no, I mean, as the host, you can kind of morph into whatever it is you need to do to make the shit go.
Boom.
But if you have people who have those qualities, it's going to create the next, because this is for TV.
Right.
This is character archetypes for TV writing.
I mean, this goes all back to vaudeville, right?
Yeah,
This
right.
is all
But if you got 4 people on the pod, you don't want 3 lovable losers, or you don't
No,
want.
I mean, it's all about the host.
Right. You got to have
You gotta
a mix
have
of
a
the
Magic
4,
Johnson type dude that, these two,
Right.
so let me do this for the joke.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Like, look at the Ninja Turtles. They had very clear, defined personalities. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, Leonardo was like a leader. Michelangelo was hella goofy.
Goofy,
Like,
right.
hey, dude. Yeah. Donatello was hella smart, and Raphael was all aggressive. And those archetypes are really like clearly defined in these dudes.
Absolutely.
AKA the pinnacle of greatness in modern writing, the Ninja Turtles.
That was my shit. When one came out, I was excited.
But Ninja Turtles, when I see the way that the boys in my daughter's school are still so fascinated by the Ninja Turtles, I'm like, whoever cooked that shit up really landed on something that is just so universal, you know? And like my kid will ask me questions about Ninja Turtle lore. Like, she will ask me like, how did the Ninja Turtles live in the sewer?
Well,
That's great.
And I'm like, in reality, nobody would want to live in the sewer. It's all poop and yucky stuff down there.
when y'all was kids, y'all didn't used to like try to like go to manholes.
Yeah, I did.
Hell yeah.
Never
Yelling, Donatello!
Never successful.
I couldn't fit through the motherfuckers.
in the middle of the road.
Said he couldn't fit.
Somebody make me the AI video of Doughboy halfway through the manhole. Pause.
Yeah.
Well, look at us breaking down character
I'm going to be
archetypes and
thinking
stuff.
about this a lot. I'm surprised it took me this long to be exposed to this. Yeah.
You got to show love to your loser, man. It's all
right.
the thing.
Okay.
LL Cool J.
Yeah, LL, yeah.
But this is also, if you like look deeper, because we were talking about the vaudeville character archetypes, and then it's just the different roles that people play in society, like the healer,
Right.
the hero, the jester.
Right, exactly.
These are the same archetypes that are repeated in everyday life.
Right.
Indeed. Plus, in comedy, like if you're cooking, Adam, or you're cooking in a situation and it's clearly your day, a real comedian is just going to support you in that moment. They're not going to try to chop you down and override you. Nigga, this nigga's hot. Let's make this.
Give him
shit
a
go.
rock.
Yeah.
I do feel like No Jumper more often than not has a different personality that might fit into one of these, but I'm not sure which is kind of like the gangster who talks about prison all the time.
Right. That's materialistic because that's currency in society being tough.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then also the fade is currency in prison.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's metaphoric too. It doesn't have to be literal, like spot on. You can replace it with things that culturally make more sense in these scenarios.
Yeah.
But also, like this table, these microphones are a leveling factor where a lot of things like physicality are out the window.
Right.
And that can be very frustrating to people who's like a huge part of their identity
Just to go
hinges on
fight.
being
Right.
You
intimidated.
weren't thinking of Crip Mac as the dumb one, were you?
Well, how would I ever know?
Were you thinking about Duno?
No, he's a dumb one, but that's not disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful in the world of comedy.
But he's our Chris Farley.
Yeah, because
he's fat. He's like everything he does. He's like kind of hilarious, like without even hearing a word he's saying. Just him moving around is funny.
So he's the dumb one, and he's also the in your own universe.
Oh,
Yes, he's for sure
And this is remember, these are only for the story aspect of whatever you're watching. Right. This doesn't mean that literally stupid.
Right,
no, he's very smart.
And I'm not a loser.
For people to follow what's going on, this is how they're perceiving him because this is how they're trained to watch TV from years of watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I feel like Doughboy, I wish that you would have like told us this shit beforehand because you're like educated in comedy. Like the way Kraig broke it down, you would have been like, yo, by the way, kind of my thing is like, I say goofy shit and like I'm halfway serious and it's funny. And I guess it took people a little while to figure that out. I kind of already knew that, but I feel like it would have been a bit of a softer landing because like the Rick Ross like gangster persona and like
never worked.
Blood Doughboy.
I watched it, bro. I watched that episode. I'm sitting there with my glasses on in the grill. Hey, like, niggas ain't finna keep calling me no bitch. Why you calling me a bitch? I ain't call you a bitch. Man, fuck this. I don't even know how to talk tough right.
That is the funniest shit ever. I ain't call you a bitch. As a threat.
I said it tough though. I ain't call you no bitch.
I ain't call you a bitch.
Are you gonna call me a bitch again? You gonna keep calling me a bitch? Well, I'm gonna keep not calling you a bitch. How about that, nigga?
That was really, really funny without trying.
Y'all got gold on here, man.
Dude, I feel like I missed out on a lot in society because last night I watched Patrick CC's new video about Key and Peele, who I could have walked by them on the street prior to yesterday. I wouldn't have known who they were. I never saw it prior to like watching that documentary. I just had never been exposed to it in any way. Like, and I was looking, it's like 2012. It was on air for like 3 years. Just never saw it.
Well, you for sure know who Jordan Peele is.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
Like, but you didn't know.
I knew he was a director.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really.
That's
know about
crazy.
Yeah, I never got exposed to.
Really?
It. Yeah.
You never seen Get Out or Us or?
I actually found out about what Get Out is about last night watching this little documentary.
Such a dope movie.
Oh, wow.
Super
It sounded
dope writing.
insane, which now I understand a little bit about why so many people like mentioned it to me over the years, like accused me of like being something from that show or something.
The sunken
Basically,
place.
just like a complicated way of calling me.
You know, a lot of
racist.
black people really think you work for the CIA. Like in the hood, like, be careful, man. I'm telling you, J. Edgar Hoover is his uncle.
Them people in the building.
Like, man, I don't know about that.
It doesn't help that my family actually like worked in politics for a long time, and like, but then I did like people always would tell me that my dad was like a Mason, a Freemason, whatever, and then my dad actually came on the podcast. And it was like unbelievably obvious that he was not a Freemason, and somehow that didn't really like stop any of these rumors.
I think the last name thing kind of throws that off a bit.
Threw it off.
Yeah, I just have like a cool last name, Even though really it's just like a French last name that means big house.
For sure.
Just like really doesn't designate you being part of the Illuminati because you have a last name like that. But
It means that you're in the Bohemian Grove.
Does the white Illuminati have to? Do they have to you in the ass? Because all black people think. Go ahead and make it.
You're not getting away from the ass sex.
So all Illuminati is doing.
It's gotta happen.
I was penetrated. Wait, so I was wondering. So how long have you been on Corey Holcomb's podcast, and like what is? How would you describe your role on that?
So I'm just a co-host.
Okay.
You know, Corey Holcomb is a legendary comedian. You know, man, he pretty much is like counterculture at his peak. You know, whatever you're supposed to say, he doesn't say it. So I've been with Corey on his show for about 6-7 years. You know, we met at the Improv. One of the traditions in comedy, we all go to the Hollywood Improv on Monday nights, and we just roast each other for hours outside. Really? Most of the time, we don't even go in the club. We just be outside murdering each other for hours, and that's how we met.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah. So that's how we met. He invited me on the show, and I've been co-hosting ever since. That's like his show. I'm just a co-host. I'm just like the voice of reason on the show, kinda.
Okay.
Yeah. So
because I'm gonna be honest with you, like I don't really think I knew who Corey Holcomb was until Flacco started making all these videos trying to tear him
Flacco hates
down.
his ass.
They have a really evil beef going.
Yeah.
Right.
Corey the type of guy where if you started, he gonna finish it. He don't give a f- about about none of the bullshit.
Who do you think is up in that beef?
I ain't really been paying attention. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing: the 5150 world is we always got something going on. You know what I'm saying? So the shit that Flacco was saying is just exaggerations and lies. You know what I mean? So like accusing somebody of being a PDF when that's not true. We say jokes and shit, but ain't nobody no PDF. That's like the worst thing you can be.
Right.
That's a murderable offense where I'm from.
For sure.
So to accuse somebody of that, not being their face, not have no paperwork, and just put it out there, to me, that's bitch nigga behavior. Now, I don't know Flacco personally, but I'm just speaking on any guy that accuses somebody of something that heinous without paperwork. That's a problem.
I don't know that I actually tuned into the video in which he tried to paint that picture.
Oh, he made a couple of them.
It was a lot of it was like remarks. It was his commentary on remarks.
Right. He was taking the content of things that he said and just kind of painting
switching up the context. And that shit went crazy. You know it went crazy. So, I mean, that's a political strategy. So in politics, they have this thing called contextomy. That's when you take a fact and you spin a narrative around it and make it seem like it's something that it's really not. So he's taking a conversation like we're having today and taking one piece of it, extracting all the context from it, and then creating his own context to go around it. And that shit went viral, but the shit is simply not true.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I don't know what started that beef because like I knew Corey from back in the day being funny as that one roast there. No, it was that All-Star weekend.
Yeah.
And he just went crazy. He's drunk as hell, just unhinged, and he was just making fun of everything in sight.
Indeed.
That was one of my favorite like clips on the internet for years.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
So that's what I knew of him as.
He's one of the rare comedians that tours and sells out. He has no ties to Hollywood as far as like he's independent. So if he was a rapper, he would be like what's the dude from Kansas City?
Tech Nine.
He'd be like Tech
Yeah,
Nine, where he don't answer to nobody. Can't nobody tell me what the to say. I do what the I wanted, and he really is having his.
You go
way.
on the road with him a lot?
Nah. I got my own thing going on. Yeah.
But like, okay, was it kind of when the controversy hit this year? Did that like, how did that affect you? We're like, okay, this is my dog. I got to stand tall. Like, what did that feel like?
I mean, it was a lot of people saying crazy shit, you know what I mean? But I'm built for it, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, my resume speaks for itself, like in the streets and with comedy. I mean, I got a long way to go comedically as far as this is a lifetime journey. But for me personally, like I would never be sitting next to a PDF. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't even be able to be comfortable around me. That's not even something.
As you notice, he keeps sitting.
I'll be quiet, don't worry.
But look,
I went to a comedy show the other day, and it really like occurred to me that like if you want to take on this pursuit, you're pretty much taking it upon yourself to like stay out going to these clubs until like midnight, 1 a.m, like every night. Like
that's early.
You have to make that part of your routine pretty much.
When you're working on your act, but if you like are somebody that's established, you could really have it your way.
Okay.
Like if you got a big fan base, you don't have to do shows at night. You can say all my shows are from 12 in the afternoon to 6 p.m. and then I'm out. You do what it's your fan base.
Okay, yeah.
These comedy clubs want to sell food and drinks. So if this is when you if they can use your audience to sell food and drinks, you dictate what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So that it just
don't you think it kind of takes away from it when it's like these giant like arena stadiums?
I said that about music too.
Yeah.
I think it's a disconnect because when I see people do stuff, I mean, as proud as I be of some of these cats, like you know what I'm saying, like even like when Kevin Hart was doing like football fields, I was just like, and you chime in on how you feel about it. I just don't know how you can connect to 18,000 people. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Way more than that.
And yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're sitting in the middle and it's 360. Normally when you're doing comedy, it's front facing. You can see everything in front of you. I look up to it for the accomplishment of it, but just on a technical standpoint, do you feel like it's a harder connector to perform in front of that many people at once?
I think so. Because, you know, comedy is an energy transference and shit. So if I'm in a smaller room and I'm murdering that room, that shit feels like power. It feels like you could actually do like a dual kick. What's that shit called? You throw the fireball and fucking street fight. It feels like am I tripping?
Yeah, no,
it feels like you can actually do that. Like you can feel humans' power in a smaller room, you know. So I mean, but you know, to make that real money, nobody wants to do 100, 200 dates.
Right.
What feels crazier though? Because you've been a rapper. What feels crazier, that or being like this and then having all thousands of people? What feels crazier?
So I would say the joke thing feels crazier.
How come?
Because you can't hide behind the beat. You get me? So in our era, you could be an okay rapper, but if you had a Dre beat, nigga, you were
and a hook.
Yeah.
We had the argument about what's harder to be great at, stand-up comedy or battle rap, the other day on the podcast, and I noticed a few battle rap pages kind of clipping it and having that argument. And one thing that I found kind of compelling that a person said was basically like, when you do a battle rap, you do that one time and you are never telling those jokes again. That is the end of it right there. And then meanwhile, in stand-up, you're working on the same set over and over and over. You might do it hundreds of times, right? So that is one thing that really, like everything is on the line in the battle rap world. Whereas like you doing your set at a club in comedy, you know, the consequences of you having a bad night are pretty low.
You can't
It's like, and you can have a bad night. Yeah.
It's like comparing a dunk contest to an actual game. Battle rap is like a dunk contest. So you got two Vince Carters doing amazingly verbally acrobatic shit. That's a talent in itself. But to do comedy for an hour and a half and have a linear thought and take people on a journey is the hardest thing to do in entertainment. There's nothing, in my opinion, that with that.
I was falling on the side of battle rap because I've seen both, I've done both, and just the memorization of not only the raps but the act out. So I'm just talking about just like in a soul performance. One is doing stand-up, one is doing stand-up comedy. Like as a stand-up comedian, I know these jokes, I've done them before, I'm comfortable. If I need to go off page, I can go off page, I'm cool, whatever. With this other thing, it's just like you were saying, like you got this one time to get it right. You don't get to do it again. You're not going to be able to say this to another rapper. If you repeat a line, you know it's the cardinal sin. You repeat some shit and don't around and forget a line and just wait like 3 seconds. Oh,
comedians got pressure too. Comedians got pressure. You can't bite. Like you don't want to get
all of that.
Feel me, Carlos Mencia and all that. Like
all of that
there's heavy pressure for comedians too. But I would hazard to say that what Kraig was referring to, like a 90-minute set where you own the world, Chappelle type shit, whatever. That is such a high level to get to, and in order to achieve that, the only real comparison in battle rap would be like the Loaded Lux, or the Mooks or Disasters of the world, which in essence are doing the exact same thing that you described, connecting coherent ideas, weaving it for like this with the added pressure of somebody tearing them down right in their face.
I mean, that shit is intense. Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's really difficult to say.
I think the deciding factor too is like, who are you? I can hear you rap for every day and I still don't know who you are as a person. So as a comedian, all great comedians, they let you into who they are at their most vulnerable space. So no battle rapper's gonna get up there and be like, I was molested, my uncle me and I still came up here and killed you like Chucky. You get what I'm saying? Everything is about cool.
Right.
You know, me being a rapper and a comedian, I understand that there's some weird delusion in rap where niggas feel like they have to be cool.
Well, the way that is framed,
and that shit it's not. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Right.
And that's just not corny because it's necessary for the culture. But that's something that won't make you a good comedian. And so to be uncool and make people laugh at your uncool for an hour and a half, to me is like, that's some hard shit to do.
The way that is framed in battle rap when they don't want to look seem like they're uncool but still be vulnerable is how hard they had it growing up.
Right.
Like I had to, like I never had like a cereal bowl. We had to just like cut the carton in half.
Right. And everybody has guns but no gun license. Like, where's your license, sir?
Oh man, that's real. Yo, so shout out to Kraig Smith for coming on here, man. I'm glad we got to connect and everything.
Much respect, bro.
Dude, hilarious, man. And gave us a little bit more of a perspective on Doughboy and his unique blend of and comedy, which we've all kind of been in awe of over the past few months. Shout out to you guys. We will be back at 4:00 for the No Jumper Show live with some new characters. So make sure you guys tune in. Also, the Edgars are eating McDonald's, just so everybody knows. They're not gonna starve. They've got their
neurotoxins on deck.
I think chicken nuggets, huh? What'd you get?
What's your order?
Chicken sandwich. Okay. I would have respected you more if you got a Big Mac. But shout out to Kraig. Shout out Lush. Shout out Doughboy. This was a good one. Appreciate y'all. Smack the like button. And we out.